What is up, RotoGrinders? 2 hours plus non-stop MLB DFS conversation taking all at the first pitch. First pitch tonight is actually 7:05 on the East Coast. We got a 10-gamer going down, a plethora of elite pitching. We'll discuss, once again, we're in Coors. Coors is still a thing, so some big totals there. No lineup just yet for St. Louis. We lost Burleson yesterday. I assume he's not going to play today. He left the game yesterday, so we're projecting him not to be in. So it's kind of a thin St. Louis lineup. Nonetheless, still a team total above 6. Myself, returning champion, head chopper, 2-time millionaire winner. Chop, it is a television Tuesday. Get excited about that. We'll be dropping clues momentarily. And let's say hello. Let's bring in Chop. How are things?
What up, Big Dean? What up, Dean? I need to figure out how to get this. Yeah, play around this. I need to come in sooner than just 3 minutes before.
You got to take care of the mic check and all the mic issues pre-show. Yeah.
Yeah, too busy getting my stuff together, Dean. Which one of the things I was focused on today before the show. Amongst all the stuff that's going on. Maybe we could get a poll question up right now to help me out with this, Dean. I'd love to have a poll question here.
Steve can make it happen.
If I'm not mistaken, yesterday. Last I checked, and it was getting late in the shuffle. Last I checked, Stack Stiflers, Chops Stack Stiflers was the winner. So now I need another one. I need another poll here. Do people want it to be named the Chops Stack Stiflers or the Rally Roadblock Report?
The what now? What's the second one?
Rally roadblock.
Okay. Yeah.
You roadblocking the rallies,
I get it. Yeah. Okay. I guess we can workshop that and see what the chat says. Last I saw the poll yesterday, you're trying to figure out this is a very important thing, the one relief pitcher that you like to focus on every day. It was like 51-49. It was super, super close. So let's see if we get a poll to something that separates from the field. Will you be willing to listen to an off the board suggestion if somebody in chat has something?
Absolutely. This is an open forum, and this is not necessarily, Dean. Like, I'm not saying that this guy's going to come in tonight and stifle a rally or anything like that. I'm just trying to give these guys their props. But in the pursuit of giving them their props, what better way to do it than when they're the team that they're facing, I'm giving like a five tier because, part of the reason being the bullpen. So let me acknowledge that bullpen a little bit, So, I know you giggle, Dean. I know you're giggling under your breath at the rally report, but there's real meaning here. It matters, Dean. It matters.
There are some, I take some issues with it, but I think your intent is pure. Your intent is good. And I like that. And bullpens do matter. It's just always tricky to predict, what you're going to get. And theoretically, if, your stack is doing things, you're not going to see the best bullpen arms anyway. But I hear you. Maybe it's like an 8-8 game, and you'll see like the best arms in the bullpen on both sides late in the game or something like that. I haven't officially voted. I'm waiting to see if anybody else in chat is going to give you an alternative suggestion. But I'm still debating stacking Stiflers or Chops Rally Roadblock. Both a little tricky for me to say, but all right. I think I'm going with stacking Stiflers for the record. If you need something that will split the vote with a tie, if you want me to break a tie, I'll go ahead and break that tie. All right. Yes. RIP to Ozzy Osbourne. See in chat. Yesterday, Malcolm Jamal Warner. Today is Ozzy. Yeah. I don't. Were you an Ozzy guy or a Black Sabbath guy? I just respect, the longevity.
Didn't really have any, wasn't really an Ozzy guy, but wasn't like against him. I thought the show that they had on MTV was pretty funny for a little bit. And then it kind of got, Yeah. Chiefs got one. Chiefs got
knocker blockers. That's pretty good.
That's an interesting.
It goes with the knockers. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting, Chief. You might be onto something. Somebody mark that down on the back. In the back. I need all these guys in the back. The director, the producer, the field grip. All these guys in back who are running around doing nothing.
There's a field grip. I have to meet the field grip one of
You
these
need to
days.
mark that down. Write that down. We need to come back to that later.
10-gamer tonight. We talked about yesterday. We didn't cover yesterday. Yesterday I didn't really have a plan. Just kind of went at it all willy-nilly. We min-cast in the 121, and good for me. But I actually have a plan tonight. I feel much better about this slate. I'm curious your thoughts. Some pretty clear and obvious big names up top. I think I'm going to pay for at least one in every DK lineup, if not two, because I have a plan to make it work. Gilbert, Yamamoto, Mizorowski, DeGrom. If you want to throw Framber in there in the conversation, sure. A little bit less as far as the upside when it comes to the Ks, but and I guess Matthew Boyd he's in a different tier for me. Different tier, Matthew Boyd. You get a discount for him though. But I have a way to pay for it. We do live in the world of salary cap. We'll talk about it. If you read today's expert survey, you would know what team I'm going to use, Chop. But I got a plan for tonight's slate. We'll discuss it for the next hour and change. Dave Potts, Cheeseisgood of the $1 Million Musings will be coming in about an hour and change, as well as chief mineralogist Kevin Roth. We did have a little bit dicey in Coors. I'm giving it a refresh. Yeah, yellow-orange in Coors and yellow-orange in Tampa. So got to keep an eye on those two ballparks, obviously. Closer we get to lock, the more information Roth will have to give you the right to read when it comes to these two games. Just kind of put that in your back pocket. And remember, we're going to talk about it as if they're going to go, but just understand, keep an eye on it. But how about yourself, Chop? How do we feel about today's slate? Do you have a plan? You have a path? You feel good? You just winging it? How do we feel?
Pretty much just winging it as of right now. We'll talk about the specific pitchers in a minute, but I just think there's so many options in that higher price range. So many options that you can go with that. I don't know who's going to be chalk. I haven't looked at the latest numbers, but you can get away from chalk. If there is a chalky guy, you can certainly get away from it because there's just a lot of options, and we'll talk about it in a minute. And then with the stacking again, yeah, Colorado again, game in Colorado with an offense people want to put on their stacks, and that's fine. Man, there's a lot of options in the hitting department too. So yeah, I just don't think if there's some particular guys who are standing out with ownership, you can certainly fade any of those guys tonight. There's a lot of options on the board, so I'm waiting until we get all the lineups in here, and then I'll throw some stuff together and wing it. But there's just you're gonna ask me to break it down to two pitchers on DraftKings, and I've got like 7 that I feel ultra confident in tonight. So it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, so ownership-wise, what we have it right now, and I don't want to be that guy, Chop. I don't want to be that guy to say, I think this is wrong, but I kind of think it's wrong. We have DeGrom at 39% on DK and Gilbert at 38%. Maybe I'm just nitpicking. I think Gilbert's going to be more owned. He's just cheaper. I don't know why. I think people are going to default to Gilbert as, ahead of DeGrom. Probably a tougher matchup for DeGrom. Better ballpark for Gilbert as well. I don't really see DeGrom. I like DeGrom plenty, and I'm probably going to pair these guys together, DeGrom and Gilbert. And they're kind of like 1 and 1A as far as ownership, but I think Gilbert will be a little bit higher, just my estimation. Yamamoto at 25%, Mizorowski at 17%. He's the most expensive, so that makes sense. And then kind of like the cheapy SB2s, if you want to kind of open stuff up. Max Scherzer at 14% against the Yankees. I know Dave wrote about in the article today about his issues with lefties. How many lefty Yankees are getting rolled out today? Well, Grisham, Bellinger, Jazz, Rice, Wells, I guess Vivas. He is lefty. He's not imposing, but there's a lot of lefty power there. I'm not really on Max a ton. And the other one, he talked about it again. I don't know if you read Dave's article, but he was talking about Frankie Montas, and it's just I believe it's been smoke and mirrors, but he's been a lot better against righties than lefties. He's facing the Angels, great ballpark, and an Angels team that's similar in some ways to your Astros as far as probably too many righties in that team. That their lefties are Moncada, the switch hitter, and Sean Well. That's it. Oh no, Rengifo as well. But there's very little lefty power is the point. And the ballpark protects them too. So not to say that, Trout or Ward or Adele couldn't get to him, but I don't think I'm playing Frankie Montas. I watched him pitch too much, and I'm not impressed. but I kind of sort of somewhat get it. I'm going to be spending up on 2 expensive pitchers because that's the plan. And Erod's another guy. It's kind of getting some ownership as well. And then Boyd coming in about 13%. Erod around 10 is another cheapie. But I'm curious to get your estimation. We do have the first clue scrolling for Television Tuesday. The first clue is George. George is the first clue. And what is Television Tuesday? Well, you tell me what TV show I'm talking about. One clue drops every 10, 15 minutes or so. Get in that Discord channel, rotogrinders.com/Discord, the live stream chat channel. First person to tell me what TV show I'm talking about, 1 guess per clue drop. You get yourself a week free of RG Premium. Yeah, chat. I want your path. Are we gonna go double barrel? 2 amongst? You said you like 7. I don't like 7. I like 5. But I hear you. I can imagine the other 2 guys are. But yeah. How are you splitting the hairs between Gilbert and DeGrom and Yamamoto and Mizrachi? Is it just going to be ownership? Is that what you're going to use, or do you have sort of a definitive lean?
Yeah. So first of all, shout out to Lord King Guru. That's a good name too. The Comeback Killers, because that infers that you have a lead. So if you have a lead, these guys are probably going to be in the game. These really good arms if you have a lead.
Okay.
So I like that one, but I don't know. I think the Chiefs knocker blockers are. Everybody's going to jump on that because everybody loves knockers in this chat. There's just the facts that you put. Some
it also ties everything together.
Yeah.
It's like Lebowski's rug.
If you say so, but other than that, we got a lot of chatter about Rich Hill throwing 10 strikeouts in a minor league comeback. I don't know if I'd read too much into that, guys.
I couldn't believe it. I was shocked, and I couldn't. Rich Hill. Do you know how old Rich Hill is?
I'm sure you have that info for me.
I did a deep dive. Rich Hill. He's 45 years old. Rich Hill. He debuted in the major leagues before Justin brought Sexy back. He debuted in the major leagues before the original Dexter debuted, 2005. There's been 3 Dexter spinoffs during Rich Hill's tenure. 1.5 whip in the minors. I'm not a big whip guy, but that's not good. 25 walks in 50 innings, 11 homers. He just must really like baseball. He's not getting paid, right? I mean, he's getting paid, but he's not getting paid. He's getting the minimum salary. He's made his money. He just must love it. And good. I don't know if you read Dave's article, but he had a whole thing. He opened his whole article talking about Rich Hill, and I felt the same exact way. Like, good for him. He's living his best life. I don't think it's going to go well for him. I hope it's not going to go well for him. He likes the Cubs a ton. We'll talk about it. But, yeah, good old Dick Mountain, right? Are we still doing that thing? Are they still have like the Players Weekend? Is that a thing, or is that stopped? They put their name in the back of the jersey. Is that over?
I don't know. It's a good question, but yeah, I would say that. Let me see here. Where are we at? Well, I forgot the original question, but
I was asking you to I guess, kind of whittle down your favorites amongst the pitchers.
We're ready to start digging into. Okay, I was just gonna say, when you were going on that little rant right there about Rich Hill, I was gonna say, like, there's got to be one guy somewhere out there who's under the age of 25 that you could give this chance to instead of Rich Hill. Like, what? Like, there's got to be something out there, somebody out there.
Yeah,
it's young and you just never know. And all right, let's give this guy a shot. Because there's like zero future with Rich Hill. You kind of know what you're going to get, and it's not good. And there's got to be something in the minor leagues that they got to be like some guy out there in Puerto Rico right now that you could just sign right now off the street could give you a chance. Like, I don't know, man, like they did with Christian Javier or something. Just give him $1,000. Come on in and pitch this game for us. We'll give you a shot. We'll see what you got. Something, anything. I don't know, but
they're not even like eliminated from the playoffs. They're 49-52. Like,
it's crazy, man.
They're not likely to make the playoffs, right? But they got a shot, I suppose. Like, they're 4.5 back, which is kind of a lot because there's a lot of teams you have to jump. But yeah, it is a weird thing. And again, it's not like he was pitching well and they're promoting him. Oh, Rich Hill, is this like he's like the old form back in 2012 or whatever his heyday was. I'm very much looking forward to watching that game. And he's the junk he must be throwing these days. Yeah, I agree. Like, give a kid a chance. Like, why not? But he got promoted. I don't know who the rest of the guys that are around him are probably like, really? He gets another shot for his 20th season.
Crazy. Pitchers, Dean. Pitchers. Let's see here. We'll start off with my favorite. That's Logan Gilbert. I think he's my favorite tonight. I've been on the Logan Gilbert bandwagon for a while. He's just striking guys out at a very high rate this year. I don't think it's flukish necessarily. I like the matchup here. Milwaukee has the best record in baseball. Can you believe that? Crazy. They've got the best record in baseball.
Wait, better? No.
Yes, Milwaukee has the best record.
Better than Detroit? Is it better than Detroit?
Yes.
Okay.
They surpassed Detroit. So that's crazy, but
that is wild.
They're not really. I'm not fearing that offense, especially in Seattle. And I know they scored some runs last night, but like I pointed out in the survey, for like 5 innings they were getting no hit. And then they caught a little fire, caught a little rally on one of the innings, and they got there. I think Logan Gilbert's better than George Kirby, and George Kirby was stifling him for a while. So I really do like Logan Gilbert tonight. There's nothing. His big thing, the strikeouts are there, and I think they're always going to be there. His big issue this year with the lack of fantasy production at points is the run prevention. He gives up runs. He strikes guys out, but he's giving up a lot of runs too in the meet. Well, I think being at home against a marginal offense will help that out. So I like Logan Gilbert the most tonight. He saves you a few dollars off of DeGrom, Yamamoto. The counterpart in this game saves you a lot of money. I can't believe Jacob Misiorowski is like the most expensive guy on the slate, but that's where he's an all-star. I guess he deserves to be there. He's awesome, man. I love
lines about him being an all-star.
I love that guy in GPPs. Like, I love this in GPPs because he can be a machine. And I don't think I'd have to look up his game log, but this has got to be like the best venue he's ever pitched in as far as, pitcher-friendly parks. Like, this has got to be it, and it's not a tough lineup. So GPPs for sure. In the
the Mets, he pitched at the Mets,
and that's at least that's a tough offense, though. You got to think about it. The offense, Seattle's nowhere near the Mets in my opinion. So I think
you got hammered by them, by the way. Just a heads up.
Great GPP play. But I'm not spending 10-3 in single entry in smaller fields when I've got these other guys out there like Gilbert and DeGrom. DeGrom is next on pitching well. He has his moments here. He has his moments where he looks a little bit human, and then there's these times when he looks like he's the DeGrom of old. So what are you going to get out of him tonight? It's not a bad matchup against Oakland. I think the lineup is good, but you're taking that lineup out of one of the most hitter-friendly ballparks in the majors, bringing them to Texas, which isn't the same ballpark it used to be about 6 years ago before they moved and switched to this one. I don't know if you remember the old Texas ballpark where they had that wind would blow out to like right center field, and then you'd catch a tunnel and everything would fly out of the ballpark. This isn't that. So
I like the tiers in the outfield. I thought it had a pretty cool backdrop. I missed that a little bit.
Yeah. So DeGrom's in play tonight too. Right now I'd rank them Gilbert and DeGrom. I'd go Misiorowski just because of the pure GPP play of it, man. And then the next guy on my board, Yamamoto against Minnesota. Minnesota's mailing it in now, I think. I think their offense can stink at times. So I kind of think he's in play. He's been relatively consistent this year. I don't mind taking a shot on him. It's out of those top four guys or so, he probably has the best raw matchup. Minnesota's got some high strikeout guys in that lineup. And so I think he's a good spot. 10-1 for Framber. Yeah, he's been really good. He's in a contract year. He's going to continue to do these things that he doesn't normally do because he wants to get paid. So he's striking more guys out. Yeah, there's some hitters in this lineup. I fear Suarez, maybe, I think you could neutralize Corbin Carroll lefty on lefty. but there's really not a lot after that. There's not a fearful lineup necessarily. So I think Framber's in play. Look like
what are the chances Framber is the highest scoring amongst Framber, Gilbert, Yamamoto, DeGrom, and Mizrachi? Like, I feel like a good chance he's top 3 because that's what Framber is. He's on the podium, but he's probably getting the bronze, maybe the silver, but very unlikely he gets the gold.
It's I don't know, Dean. I think if I'm putting these guys looking at it, I think he's got just as much of a chance as anybody. This year, he's been a big – I had to look at those numbers, but he's put up some monster game. He had a 40-piece against Tampa, a 34-piece against Pittsburgh. Like, he can do it coming off a 30-piece against DeGrom in Texas. So, yeah, I don't know.
Arizona's
and I think
tough, though. Arizona's tough.
I also think that the bullpen, they used Hader last night, Abreu a couple nights in a row before that. Some of these the seventh inning guys, Brian King and those guys, they've used them up pretty heavily in coming out of the All-Star break. They may ask him to go a little bit longer tonight too, which could help you out in that regard. So I think he's in the mix, that's for sure. Matt Boyd at 8,900. I think he'll be kind of a popular play tonight at that price range. That's just me, but as somebody astutely pointed out in chat earlier, I forget who said it, but Kansas City can really struggle against lefties. So, I don't know. Matt Boyd, that's an all-star, right? Matt Boyd, the all-star.
I believe he was an all-star. I'm pulling up the lineup here against
lefties.
He's
really good. He's had a good year, man. He's back-to-back 30-piece DraftKings 30 pieces, man. So, yeah, he's been fairly consistent. Yeah, I think he's in play. Kansas City. Remember yesterday we were sitting here talking about not only does Kansas City stink, but the wind's blowing in. You can play big.
Sal Perez.
And they went crazy. They went ham. But I think Matt Boyd's in play here. He's pretty good. I'm gonna throw a name out there. Nobody's gonna like it. You're gonna hate it, and the chat's gonna hate it. But
who's it gonna be? I'm trying to think. Who's it gonna be?
At this point, I'm gonna continue to pick on the Houston lineup. So I think I can throw Eduardo Rodriguez out there. Now, I did not expect to see 2 Bryce Matthews home runs last night. That was crazy. That was basically all their offense. A 3-run shot, a 2-run shot off of Zach Gallen. That's 5 out of the 6 runs. Like, okay, maybe somebody does it again tonight for him. I don't know. Maybe it's Cam Smith tonight. Who knows? But I think we can play Eduardo Rodriguez. I think he's playable, man, in this matchup. This lineup just is going to struggle for the foreseeable future. So then I've got some other guys, but they're not necessarily highlight guys for me, but they can maintain status in my player pool.
You're not going to like the way I'm building lineups tonight, Chop. Based on what you just said, you're not going to like my strategy. Based on the last thing you said, somebody in the chat was talking about Erod being a terrible play. He's grabbing some ownership just because of salary mostly. I think, like you said, the matchup. You think the matchup is good against Houston, and it might be. Or maybe Houston's really good against lefties. At least they have been so far this season.
I don't, but I just that kills me though, man, when we say that, because this isn't like you're okay. Where's the numbers coming from?
I got them. You want them? I got them for you. Because I wrote them up today in the survey, and I was talking about the Astros as kind of like they're the way. They are the path for me to make my lineups work. The way to get double barrel pitchers, the way to get expensive bats, it's the Astros. And this season versus lefties, it's not the biggest sample. They've not faced a lot of lefties, and a lot of guys in there right now haven't been on the team the entire season.
Yeah, so please don't tell me the team stats.
No, I'm giving you the active roster, but you can give the individual players too. But I'll tell you the active roster. Second in ISO in baseball versus lefties, third in OPS, third in WOBA, fourth in WRC plus.
How is that possible? Let me check the numbers here. Mauricio Dubon's batting 5th. Cooper Hummel. I'm an Astros guy. I don't even know who this guy was before a week ago. Shea, who, there's a little bit of pedigree there in the minors, but also there was a lot of speculation that all of his numbers in the minors are stemming from like basically playing in the equivalent of Coors Field, as a minor. So, yeah. And Bryce Matthews, well, you know what? That's one of their best prospects, and he delivered last night. I get
They're
it.
so cheap is the other part of it. I'm sure they're so cheap.
I mean, no. When I say when I say you can play Eduardo, it's GPP play. You could definitely play the Astros. They're certainly in play. Absolutely, 100% think that you can stack them, or you can not stack them and you can play Eduardo. That's how weird of a game that is. But it's just I look at the lineup and go, my God, 5 through 9. What is that, man? What are we even doing?
Cam Smith, 288 ISO versus lefties this year, a 440 WOBA. It's awesome.
Awesome.
Once upon a time, Jose Altuve used to be good against lefties. He's got some power this year against them, 182. 259 ISO, 370 WOBA. That's awesome. One of the worst hitters this season, Christian Walker. Yeah, let's see if he's vengeful tonight. I don't know. He's been terrible versus lefties.
Not been good this year, but we know he's got the lefty masher in his blood. He's got it in his blood. And Yainer Diaz has been a lefty masher. He's just not been good this year either. So I mean, I get it, Dean.
But against lefties,
Altuve against left, the 182 ISO's still really rock solid. And I got more on him later. So stay tuned for that.
Let's go ahead and drop that. Look at that, TJ. TJ just lurking, hanging out in chat. Spidey, me and Spidey are in we're in line. Cam Smith is a plus 875 the homer. I'm not sure what book that is, but I would love to bet Cam Smith the homer at plus 875 in a nice ballpark tonight versus Erod and company.
We need clue two, dude. Clue 2.
Yeah. Second clue. We have to whistle with the first clue for today's Television Tuesday. George is the first clue. Second clue is head. George and head. That's our first 2 clues for Television Tuesday. Anybody else we want to focus on as far as pitchers? Anybody else we want to? Did you have a take on as far as Montas? I just, man, he throws such junk these days, and I know he's been getting away with it mostly. He's a strike thrower, and he's in a good ballpark, and maybe he survives by BABIP, and he's been much better versus righties, and the best hitters he's facing are right-handed, so I suppose he can get away with it. Not a big sample, 19 innings.
Raining over there, dude?
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, I love the rain, man.
I like the sound of it too, but not when we're doing the show. My apologies.
You're fine. All right, let's see. Montas, I don't think it's a particularly imposing matchup for him. If I was making up right now, whittled down to 10 pitchers, he's in there, but I won't play him though. But I mean, I don't besmirch anybody who does. Angels are, I don't know, they're kind of an anomaly on offense. They're weird like that, and he has his moments. He had a really good 7-12 against KC 10 days ago. He pitched, I guess, before the All-Star break, and he was pretty solid. So I think you can. I think he's playable, but he won't make my lineups tonight.
Chop, I see a note here from Underdog. Pitchers 45 years or older to start a game since the year 2000. Have you seen this? You see this list? Rich Hill. So it's going to be Rich Hill tonight. The soft-tossing lefty, Jamie Moyer. His former teammate, I think they were teammates in Seattle, right? Randy Johnson. Remember Randy Johnson? Bart Colon, who was probably on like his 13th team at the time. Tim Wakefield, the knuckleballer. And then Roger Clemens when he came out of his fake retirement. So that's it. That's the list. 45-year-old pitchers to start a game in the last 25 years. So good company for Rich Hill. Anything else of note we want to talk about as far as pitchers? Shall we pivot and talk about today's tiers, today's stacks?
Let's do it.
Let's see. I'm taking a peek at the Discord channel. I want to see if anybody has banked it into today's Television Tuesday. It is not that 70s show, but that's funny you say that. But did it actually make today's tier? Yes. Okay. Well, that's a precursor to today's tiers in a second. Or Married with Children, or ER, or the Jetsons, or NYPD Blue, Young Sheldon, Curb Your Enthusiasm, George Lopez. That's what the producer Steve thought it was. He thought it was George Lopez. It's not the George Lopez show, but okay. Chop, let's go ahead and talk about today's tiers. Today's tiers category. I built it. You don't know what it is. You're going in cold. We have the roles are reversed. We're going to throw some teams in 5 different tiers. 1 is the best. 5 is the worst. Today's tiers topic, maybe Malcolm Jamal Warner is what kind of like got me on this in some way. But today's tier topic was television spinoffs, the greatest and the worst TV spinoffs of all time. Chop. Does anything come to mind immediately? First thing you think of is the best TV spinoffs. Let me know there in chat as well. As you're hitting that like button, as you're subscribing, as you're turning those notifications, And also, I guess Spidey is giving away every 50. I don't want to say that for TJ. I don't want to say that for Spidey, but we did get a Spidey bomb drop, so I presume more are coming if the like button is hit, respectively. But yeah, Chop, best TV spinoffs of all time. What do you got?
Breaking Bad's got to be Breaking Bad spinoff of
Better Call Saul.
Better Call Saul's got to be number one. Got to be number one, dude. I would say as far as my own opinion of really bad, The Walking Dead, I've talked about it before. The Walking Dead spinoffs
There's a whole bunch of them, yeah.
Atrocious compared to the first few seasons of The Walking Dead themselves. The chat's throwing some out there. You know what was really bad to me? I love, and I mean, I rewatched 3 times the Game of Thrones, but I tried to do the House of Dragons.
You don't like it?
I didn't. No, I could barely. I forced myself to get through season 1 and said, that's enough. I can't do any more. That's just enough. So I'm on that train. So I don't know. I'd be interested to see what you got here.
TJ is saying the Penguin. What is the Penguin a spinoff of? I know it's in the Batman world, but what show did that spinoff of? I don't know if that's a spinoff, TJ. I want some clarity on that. Oh, the Cleveland show. I forgot about the Cleveland show. Producer Steve chimed in. There's a lot of options. There's a lot of things I considered. I did mention maybe Malcolm Jamal Warner, so that's kind of on the board in a second. He's not actually in it, but of course, you were right, Chop, by the way. Better Call Saul, of course, is tier number 1. There's 2 for me, 2 tier 1s that were super obvious, and I couldn't insult any of them, either one, and put them in tier 2. The other one's The Simpsons. The Simpsons technically is a spinoff of the Tracy Ullman show, but couldn't put The Simpsons in tier 2, so we gave the love here to Better Call Saul. Tier 2. Colbert Report, which is just a hilarious character he played many, many years ago, spinoff of The Daily Show. But I was mentioning Malcolm Jamal Warner. A Different World was a spinoff from The Cosby Show. I don't think he was in it, though, right? He wasn't in it. That was Lisa Bonet's show, if I remember correctly. And you mentioned, or somebody mentioned that 70s show, one of the worst. It was pretty easy finding the worst ones, by the way. That 80s show. I don't know if you watched that 80s show, but that did not work, that 80s show. And then Saved by the Bell, the college years, Chop. No doubt you watched Saved by the Bell when you were a kid. I feel pretty confident saying that. Did you watch the college years with Mike Golick?
I think I tried to watch it, but I'm with you. This certainly was nowhere near Saved by the Bell, the original stuff. But then again, it's just a different era. You know what I mean? Just a different era and time.
Waylon is saying Joey. I did consider Joey. That was, of course, one of the disasters. Also, Baywatch Nights. Remember Baywatch Nights? that did not work either. That also made my list of potentially awful options. But alas, you can only so many things. Joni Loves Chachi was The Jeffersons was a very popular spinoff of All in the Family.
Oh man, so I guess my guess isn't correct in chat then, Dean.
Oh no, it's not The Jeffersons. I didn't realize that was your guess. That's pretty funny. No, that would be weird if I gave the answer to Television Tuesday just kind of casually, or maybe I'm just trying to mess with you a little bit, swerve you a little bit. But all right, let's go ahead and throw some teams in some tiers. We have 20 teams. We have 10 games. What was Mork and Mindy a spinoff of? I don't know. That's kind of before my time. I know that was Robin Williams. What did that spinoff from? Do you know? Did you watch Mork and Mindy?
Was it Happy Days? No, it wasn't Happy Days.
No, Happy Days was Joni Love Chachi, I believe.
Okay. I don't, right offhand, I'm not getting it.
Okay. Let's talk about tonight's game. First game we're talking about is the White Sox and the Rays. As you hear rain above me, there's potential rain in Tampa. Just kind of put that in your back pocket. Davis, Martin throwing baseballs against Drew Rasmussen. They say that Rasmussen's they're gonna ramp him up a little bit more as far as the pitches. Like of late, they've been kind of piggybacking him and sort of using him as like a glorified opener. 3 innings, 2 innings, 2 innings. Unplayable at this price, in my opinion. Just no chance. Maybe he pitches 4 or 5 innings. I guess that's possible, but just no chance. No chance I can roster him. Davis, Martin, not necessarily a pitcher I'm afraid of. Tampa, I think, certainly on the radar. 84 is the temp. Wind is blowing out as well. Big favorite. Minus 232 favored for the Rays against the White Sox, who put a hurting on Shane Baz last night. Where do you want to throw the White Sox and the Rays?
The White Sox, Dean, are on a nice roll offensively. They've averaged almost 9 runs a game since the All-Star break. They've been pretty good, man. Up in that trade value on some of those guys. The White Sox, though, still against Rasmussen and a relatively solid bullpen is going to be a tier 5 for me. They can't keep getting away with this. They can't keep doing this. So I got to put them in tier 5. Tampa, I still like the ballpark. I still like the matchup. Don't like the Brandon Lau is going to be out now for a while, but still it's a pretty solid other pieces in that lineup. Tampa's a tier 2, putting Tampa in tier 2. The Colbert report, by the way, I didn't even see that.
Colbert.
What is that? What is that?
You've never seen the Colbert report?
No. What's the spinoff?
It's from years ago. It's kind of just his character he played. It's a satire basically. I can't explain it. It was sort of like it's like a spinoff of the Daily Show though. They were on back to back.
Okay.
I'm sure you've seen clips of it at some point, but
probably just never watched it. So fair enough.
But yeah, I mean, it hasn't been on the air in over 10 years. But yeah, I don't know if you like. I don't know. It's like political satire comedy, but whatever. That's not your thing. No worries. What is producer Steve showing us here? The first ever team to win in each of their first 4 games out of the All-Star break by 5+ runs. Wow, look at that. Shout out to the White Sox. Okay. That means they're hot, right? Are we supposed to keep on playing on that? Is that the rule here? But
hey, that's crazy. I might bump them up just because, when you're hot as a team, you're just hot and you feed off of each other. And Lip has it right. Lip has it right, man. Like he was on the White Sox last night, or at least he was saying he was on the White Sox, and it was the right move. They're hot, but I mean, I'm not going to do it. I can't do it.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at too. Like whatever, they're cheap, and I guess they're playable. And last night it worked, but I'm not enthused. They have a 3-team total. If you want to pivot off of Houston, amongst the cheapies, I prefer Houston to the White Sox. But I'm also not making 150 lineups. You're making 150. Sure, get a taste of the White Sox if you want it. Yankees versus Toronto. It's Max Scherzer versus Cam. Now, careful with this chop. Schlittler. Schlittler? Cam Schlittler. Taking on Toronto. Toronto kind of a hot team, too. They've been hot the last couple months or so. Important game as far as the AL East. Basically, a coin toss here, according to Vegas. They're giving a slight lean to Max Scherzer and his Blue Jays. Where do you want to throw the Yankees and Toronto?
Tough one here, Dean, but I'm kind of neutral on these. I don't think Max Scherzer, just like I kind of want to pick on him, but at the same time, maybe he's still got a little bit something left. So Yankees are a tier 3. Tier 3 for me. Toronto against Cam Shitter.
Camu?
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough name. But you know what I'm saying. So it's a tough one, man. Because I've seen this guy. Some of the things look okay about him, but then again, I got a stat for you, Dean. You want to hear this stat?
Please.
Vladimir. No, it's terrible. It's just baseball.
Just gonna share it for no
garbage. Vlad Guerrero leads Major League Baseballs with 104 hard hits versus fastballs this year. So he eats up those fastballs, which that's his MO. Cam Schlitter, guess what he is? Technically, they list him as a 5-pitch pitcher, but 3 of those pitches are single digits. I mean, it's like a 2%, 4%, whatever. Mainly, he lives off of the 4-seamer and the slider. Mainly, like 50+% on the 4-seamer. Vlad Guerrero eats those fastballs alive, man. I think Vlad could have a good game, but that's a one-off. It's not a full stack, so they're in tier 3 for me, Toronto.
Yeah, Barger is just like he's been electric so far this year. He's one of the breakout players. I like him as well. If you're sticking with Toronto, but they're not one of my main stacks. But again, if you're running 150, sure, why not? And the lefties versus backs, I think are certainly pretty interesting as well. You have the Yankees in a different world, right in the middle, Chop.
Correct. I just I don't know what to do with these 2 starting pitchers. They're kind of weird. Like I think they've got a little something, but I'm not going to play them, but I don't want to stack against them. So it's just a neutral. Yeah, both of them.
I don't mind homer hunting against Max. If a little mini of the 3 lefties or something like that, or Bellinger, Jazz, Rice, something along those lines. It doesn't mean Stanton and Judge can't take him, can't take him deep. But this year, and the sample is kind of small. Max has been hurt most of the season, but this year, lefties have really beat him up pretty good to the tune of a 295 ISO, a 382 WOBA, 125 ISO versus righties. Again, we're talking 47, 45 at bats, so small sample stuff. But I will lean with the lefties here. Third clue for Television Tuesday. Let's go ahead and drop it. First two clues: George, head, expel. Expel is the third clue. Expel is the third clue. Chop, tell me what TV show I'm talking about. In the Discord channel, you get yourself a week free of RG Premium. Football, baseball, basketball, hockey, MMA, PGA, NBA when it's in season, WNBA. Should also mention signing up for Combo Pro right now, getting yourself a 6-month sub. If you commit today, you get the first 5+ weeks for free. Your sub doesn't officially start until about 5 weeks or so, and then we give you 6 months from there, all the way up to March 1st. So you would get the entire NFL season, which of course is just around the corner. You get the optimizer, all the projections, all the articles, all the bells, all the whistles, Plate IQ, Slate IQ, SimLabs, too many things to mention. This promo, I'm told, is only good until the 22nd. And Chop, if you look at your phone, look at your calendar, you got a calendar on the wall, that's today. So my understanding is this promo expires today. Check out the link there in the description. Again, you commit to 6 months, you're going to get everything in the first 5 weeks free until, in 5 weeks' time when the NFL season starts getting full gear, college as well. And then you get 6 months up until March 1st. All right, next game. Chop, your guess of Grey's Anatomy is not correct. I'm sorry.
I figured you'd be a big Grey's Anatomy guy.
There's like 37 seasons. I've never seen an episode of Grey's Anatomy. Yeah, I'm not a big hospital show person.
No, you didn't like ER back in the day with George Clooney and.
I'm aware of George Clooney. I never watched. Is ER still on? It's still a thing, or it's gone, right?
No, it can't be. George Clooney's like 80 years old, man.
Well, no, I know he moved on in the middle of the series. So he outgrew it, but yeah. I don't think there's any hospital show I ever really watched. I wasn't a big fan of Nurse Jackie. But anyways, we shall move on. The next game on the docket, Chopper, is the Angels and the Mets. Kyle Hendricks taking on Frankie Montas. The Mets do have a 5-team total. Because Kyle Hendricks is not somebody we respect. We've talked about Montas a little bit already in small sample stuff. Been pretty good against righties. Good ballpark to throw baseballs. You're kind of saved there by, cavernous City Field. Where do you want to put the Metropolitans and the Angels of Los Angeles?
Well, Dean, I'll say the Angels, just out of respect for how bad Montes can be, I'm going to put them in tier 3. Okay, I'm not in love with this lineup tonight, but Montes can be bad too at times. So tier 3 for the Angels. The Mets are going to be our first tier 1. Wow, back-to-back nights here with Stevie's Mets. He's in tier 1. Better call Saul. Yeah. They were looking a little rough last night, but in the later innings, they ended up, putting up like 8 or 9 runs or something. Pretty good. So I think they can get back. Like Kyle Hendricks is going to give up some hard hits tonight. He's going to give up some home runs, maybe not a lot of hard hits. Whenever you get him out of the game, you're getting the bad arms in this bullpen, and they're really bad. So the Mets are one of those teams that could definitely. If I highlight 5 teams tonight that can break the slate, they're certainly one of them. They've got the potential with that lineup in this matchup. So despite it being a pitcher-friendlier ballpark, I think the Mets are a tier 1 for me.
Coming out of the bullpen, are you suggesting there might be some rally roadblocks or some stacking stiflers? Is that what you're saying?
No, coming out of the bullpen for whatever the opposite is of rally, like whatever the opposite is of stack
rally
stiflers.
Igniters?
Yeah, this is like arguably a bottom 3 or 4 bullpen in all of baseball, I think. So, once you get Hendricks out of the game, which I think could be relatively early, hopefully, he could really do some damage.
All right, let's move along. By the way, the chat was talking about Scrubs. I did not watch. I'm aware of Scrubs. I never really saw it. Like I know the people that are in it, basically.
That was a good show. That was not bad.
I know people liked it. I never watched it though. And I'm told The Pit is very good. Peter says watch The Pit. The show on HBO supposedly was very good, but it only has one season. I don't know if you watched that, Chop, but I typically give most HBO shows a chance, but I did not watch that. Mrs. Garrett is your guest. Did Mrs. Garrett get her own show? Did she get a spinoff of Different Strokes? Was that a TV show? Did you just make that TV show up? You just name the character, Chop.
I can't think of the name of the show, but yeah, it's a spinoff from
or Facts of Life.
That's it. Facts with Tootie.
No, Different Strokes. I think was a spinoff of Facts of Life. I'm pretty sure. And that's
wait a minute. The Facts of Life, Different Stroke. You think?
I think so.
Which one came first?
I think it was the same housekeeper.
The chicken and the egg argument. Which one came first? Was it Willis? Was that Willis in those?
Arnold and Willis. Yeah.
Okay, Arnold and Willis. So you're saying Mrs. Garrett was first, and then
she was, I believe, the housekeeper for both shows. I'm fairly certain, but I could be wrong.
Oh, man.
Somebody Google it.
Might have my timelines mixed up, but saying you get the point.
Yeah.
So that's not right. Facts of Life.
Maybe I'm wrong. Chat's telling me I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong here. I don't know. I don't have time to Google these things, but I'm pretty. I thought one of those shows had the same housekeeper. Anyways, doesn't matter. Next game we're talking about here, Chop. It's the Giants and the Braves. Davis, Daniel, and Landon Roop for throwing baseballs here for the Giants. Atlanta is a slight favorite, -122. Profile still leading off, sticking with that lineup. They basically, what's his name? Ozuna. I don't know when is he even on the IL or is he just like not playing? Because I know he's dealing with that hip. He's been pretty horrendous all season long. We saw Drake Baldwin have a breakout game last night. I guess he's been kind of broke out the entire season. I shouldn't frame it that way. But yeah, two pitchers I don't think we're particularly afraid of. We like the hitting environment here. It's going to be hot in Atlanta. 88 is the temp. Wind slightly blowing out to dead center. Where do you want to throw the Braves and the Giants?
Yeah, big Drake Baldwin game last night, man. Huge game for him.
Yeah. He got me to min catch.
Ozuna's not hurt, I don't think. I think he's just really I think he's mired in like this massive slump, and they're just kind of like
he's got a hip.
Well, I know he had it, but then he came out recently and said he's 100% healthy. That's what he said.
Okay.
But he's in the midst of a big slump, so I think that has a lot to do with it. I got to think that they're trying to offload that guy right now at the trade deadline. And
good luck.
Yeah.
What are you going to get for him? He's a free agent at the end of the season too, so
yeah,
he's not. He won't be back.
So San Francisco here, Dean, is interesting in that it's a good matchup. It's solid, but according to my numbers, Dean, ownership numbers, and these can all be a little bit, off by a couple of points, but they're like in the range of the second highest owned stack tonight. They're going to be in that range, 2 or 3, something like that. They are. So according to some of the ownership numbers. So that's got to bump them down. I don't need to take a chance on Frisco at that kind of ownership. If indeed the top 5 guys in that lineup, their 5 best hitters are going to be heavily owned. So they're a tier 3 on San Francisco. Atlanta's a tier 2. They're getting much less ownership, half the ownership in general. And then Frisco with just as high of a team total, a little bit more expensive players, but better players. So they're tier 2 for me.
Chop, I took a second, did a little Google here. I know nobody cares about this, but I did want to clarify because chat was telling me I was wrong. You were telling me I was wrong. And
I said I didn't know. I said
AI. We could always trust AI. It says, yes, The Facts of Life is a spinoff of the sitcom Different Strokes. It follows Mrs. Garrett, the Drummond's former housekeeper from Different Strokes, as she takes on a new role as housekeeper to a fictional school.
Yes.
So
The Facts of Life followed different. You said Different Strokes followed the Facts of Life.
You're burying the lead. You're focusing on the parsley. Let's talk about the steak. The steak is that they one of the other one where they were spinoffs of each other. I don't know about the chicken and the egg, but Mrs. Garrett was on both shows. 3 people out there care. I'm one of them. Okay. We shall move along here, Chop. Let's see. We got Minnesota. Minnesota, no Larnack and no Clemens in their lineup. We're projecting both to play. They are not playing baseball for Minnesota unless we just kind of made a modification. Yeah, so Minnesota's lineup tonight is Buxton, Jeffers, Castro, Correa, France, Wallner, the suddenly hot Royce Lewis, Harrison Bader, Christian Vasquez, so they are playing a couple catchers.
You know what's crazy is you get a guy like Cody Clemens, and like every time, I don't know what the deal is, but like every time he makes the starting lineup, it feels like he puts up a monster DFS game, like pays off his salary. I don't know why he doesn't get more opportunity, to be honest with you. Maybe I'm missing something though.
His dad's got to put a call in, I guess. I don't know.
Doesn't it feel like every time he's out there, he does something good? Like, I don't know.
He's got 12 homers this year. You know, he's kind of an
limited playing time, super limited playing time.
Yeah, I mean, he starts against a fair amount of righties. But yeah, from a DFS perspective, yeah, I mean, I like him as a cheap, source of potential power, and sort of surprising he's not playing today, against the righty here in Yamamoto. Let's see, how many righties do they have? Buxton, Jeffers, Correa, Lewis, Bader, Vasquez. So 6. I think it's more righties than we were anticipating facing Yamamoto here, for what it's worth. But all right, let's scoot along. We have crunch time coming in about, let's see, 20 minutes. 20 minutes, they're coming in. Dave Potts, Cheeseisgood, Erik Beimfohr, and also Kevin Roth, chief mineralogist. Let's see if he changed the weather. Did we get an update as far as weather? Looks like we did. Yeah, more positive in Tampa. I'll drop this in chat for the people. We're now yellow-green in Tampa. So models went from storms everywhere to storms nowhere. So he feels pretty positive, looks like. Of course, he'll give more clarity to this when he jumps on. It's still yellow-orange in Colorado, where Roth says he's a little bit concerned. We'll talk about that game momentarily. Okay. Athletics, Rangers, JT Ginn versus Jacob deGrom. deGrom is a pretty heavy favorite here versus the Athletics. The Athletics, you kind of mentioned it earlier, mega downgrade as far as the ballpark, getting out of that minor league park in Sacramento. Texas, tougher ballpark to hit. Colby Thomas is in the lineup. It was just kind of surprising, which didn't seem like a big deal, but he's projected to strike out like 30% of the time in the majors. So I think that's a bit of a boost here for Jacob deGrom. He's had a cup of coffee, only a few at-bats, as far as I can tell, in the majors. But otherwise, pretty standard lineup here for the Athletics. Where do you want to throw the A's and the Rangers?
Yep, A's are pretty easily in Tier 5 for me. I'm not picking on Jacob deGrom. So that's a Tier 5, no doubt about it. JT Ginn, he hasn't been bad. The numbers are okay. The bullpen behind him is bad. Texas has been better lately. They're getting back in the hunt of the wild card and all that good stuff, and they're doing it with some offense. Their offense is as good now as it's been all year, but they're just a Tier 3. They're neutral for me. I don't believe they're anything special. In order to pop those first 2 tiers tonight, you gotta. I think there's some real heavy hitters in there, and they don't fit that tier for me. Those first 2 tiers, so they're a Tier 3.
Producer Steve is already scrolling the 4th clue for Television Tuesday. If you're looking at the board, you got a little bit of a head start before I vocalize it. Compete, Chop, is the 4th clue. George, head, expel, and compete. One more to come, some bonus clues if necessary. I'm not sure what's going on in the chat, but they're speculating of me being a Bonnaroo guy or a Firefest guy. How much would I have to pay, Chop, to go to Bonnaroo or Firefest for a weekend? How much would I have to pay you to go? Would you rather go to Juggalo Fest with Kirk?
I don't know what Bonnaroo is, Dean. I ain't gonna lie to you.
That's a music festival. Yeah. I just feel like that's not your scene.
No, it doesn't sound like it, man.
You want to be home.
It doesn't sound like it. I mean, everybody's built different, Dean. If you give me a chance to do things, I'm gonna, do something out like that in public. I'm gonna go to a sporting event rather than a music event. Put it like that.
Bonnaroo in Tennessee, by the way. Okay. Let's move on. Let's talk about recap of the board.
Did I get it right, Dean? Am I right? Am I on the crab?
It is. Well, I think what you're doing is you believe that it's going to be a spinoff because
you said
which is fair, but
so I'm not even on the right. I'm not even on the crab here, man. Golly,
it's not Young Sheldon.
So you're saying it's not a spinoff?
I'm saying.
Give us a bonus clue. Is it a spinoff or not?
Well, I'll tell you what. Some people don't need bonus clues because we just got a winner in the live stream chat. So shout out to Dunk 101. We do have a winner in clue number 4, but I'll give you a bonus clue if that. I wouldn't say. I don't think it's a spinoff. I think it's a show. I'm pretty sure it's a show that started in other countries first. It was bigger in Europe. I don't know what the country specifically, but that is where it started. But now it's in America, and it's been on for 15 years, maybe 20 years. Been on for a while. It's been on for a while. Okay, next game on the board is Kansas City versus the Cubbies. You read that right. Rich Hill, 45-year-old Rich Hill, taking the bump versus the Cubbies. Matthew Boyd on the other side. Chicago, a massive 260 favorite. PCA back in the lineup. He was dealing with a knee the other day. They sat him out left on left. He's back in versus Rich Hill. Carson Kelly batting cleanup, which is of note, I guess. That's interesting. They're doing left, right stuff. I guess they wanted to split. Actually, they didn't even do that. I don't know why they're doing that. Maybe they're afraid of Rich Hill throwing from the left side. Okay. But, yeah, Boyd on the other side, you talked him up earlier as far as some pitchers. Where do you want to throw Kansas City and Chicago?
Yeah, so Matthew Boyd is a pretty good pitcher. KC, I think, is going to struggle. That's a tier 5. And the exact opposite for Chicago. We're getting matchup with Rich Hill tonight, a good offense. It's got to be a tier 1. Chicago's got to be a tier 1, one of my favorite stacks in general.
Okay. Still 2 teams all the way up top. It is the Mets and now joined by the Cubs. 4 more games to go here, Chop. We have the knockers coming. We have the old BBP suggestion. We just got a Cardinals lineup, which is some pretty good timing. It's Eric Fetty taking on Bradley Blaylock. Cardinals, Donovan's leading off. Herrera, Contreras, Arenado, Wynn, Thomas Sajaci, Jordan Walker, Pedro Baez, and then Victor Scott. Colorado also is a pretty good number here against Fetty, who's not particularly good. We love the ballpark here in Colorado. Again, Roth is telling us just keep an eye on St. Louis and Colorado because it's potentially dicey out there. Where do we want to throw? St. Louis, the only team with a team total was 6 or above this evening, and then the Rockies.
Yeah, Colorado's a tier 2 team for me. Fetty's nothing special, so that's definitely a tier 2 at the very least. St. Louis, I'm going back to tier 1. I know they're chalky, and that's fine. It seemed like they even had a kind of an off night last night offensively, and they still had, like, if you had the right guys, you were perfectly fine with them. So it's just Colorado. That's just the way it is. So I'm perfectly fine with putting St. Louis in tier 1 and trying to put together your stack in different ways that it's not so chalky. And I even talked about that in the survey today. Nobody wants to pay $5,500 these days for a catcher. And nobody wants to use a catcher on FanDuel in that utility spot, or, there's like a stigma about it. So, Herrera is one of their better hitters. You could put him in your stack and you probably get a little bit different right off the bat. But yeah, they're a tier 1 any way you cut it.
I'll pay $5,500 for Cal Raleigh for the big dumper. I'll do that.
GPP only, Dean.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
What's the conversation we're having mostly? It mostly drives the conversation.
Yeah, so you don't like Herrera for $5,500?
He's fine, but like you said, nobody wants to pay $5,500 for a catcher. And I want to pay $5,500
except for Cal Raleigh. Yeah, he's the only exception to the rule. I mean, he's really.
I get you. By the way, Chop, shout out to you. You did guess today's television.
Goodness
Tuesday.
Gracious!
You got it correct.
It was between that one and American Idol, because I know that came from Simon Cowell overseas and stuff.
Yeah, I believe that started over in Europe as well. But we'll give one more clue. The last clue, we'll drop it, is watching. Watching is the last clue. But Chop got it correct. We got Dunk 101 there. The Discord getting a week free of RG Premium. So yeah, and we'll explain those clues soon enough. Chop, am I seeing 0 teams in that 80 show? Is that what I'm seeing? I'm reading this board correctly, right?
So far, wow. This is going to be one of those things people are tuning into to the very end to see if we have a tier where no team falls into it. So far, you are correct.
The tension's palpable for sure. This is what keeps the viewers, not going anywhere.
Correct. To see history made.
Never before. Deers. Framber Valdez is throwing baseballs against Erod, 8.5 total. Houston is the slight favorite. Framber Valdez, the better pitcher. No Houston lineup just yet, but they're going to be cheap. They're going to be cheap. Just look at that collection. Whitcomb is cheap. Bryce Matthews is really cheap. Even Diaz, proven good hitter. Cam Smith is cheap. I talked earlier in the show how much I love Houston as a lineup filler, as a mini, as a way to get double barrel. I'm going to be playing a lot of Astros tonight, and I'm not terribly comfortable with it, but that's the path I'm choosing. Arizona on the other side against Valdez. We always thought I don't like picking on Valdez. Historically, he's just not the kind of guy that's going to give up multiple home runs in a game. I'm sure it's happened before on record. It's probably happened this year, but I'm not banking on it unless that bullpen completely implodes. You talked earlier in the show about how it's been kind of overworked, but I'm curious. Did I sway you as far as liking the Astros a little bit? You talked to B-Rod a little bit earlier as a cheapie SP2. D-backs and Houston, where are they going on the board?
So against Framber, that style of pitcher, and a good bullpen, assuming it's and by the way, if a game is like 2 or 3 runs, even if Houston's losing, Joe Espada will use his good relievers, man. He's one of the rare ones who chases a win even when he probably shouldn't. So when I say Houston has a good bullpen, I mean, if it's a close game, you're likely to see some really good arms out of the bullpen. So Arizona's a tier 5. I mean, Framber will probably eat up 6, maybe 7 innings and keep everything on the ground. So that's tough. I don't want to mess with that tonight. That's a tier 5. Dean, I have to say, all the stuff you've done in the show, you've swayed me. You've swayed me on the Houston thing. I can still use E-Rod in GPPs, always for sure against that lineup. I think so. But I'm not as low on the Houston lineup tonight as I was headed into the show. So I'm going to put them in tier 3.
Okay.
I'm going to bump them up to tier 3, Houston, because I just don't think after everything you said, and you've made some valid points, I don't think they deserve to be where I originally had them.
Pitchers still expected in Seattle, 7 total. Logan Gilbert, Jacob Mizrachi. The Miz, an all-star. Gilbert, he was an all-star, right? I assume he was. We're not expecting a ton of runs. The ballpark's not great for runs. And these 2 pitchers, Mizrachi, we're not crowning him just yet, but he's looked spectacular so far. The stuff is electric. If you're a stuff plus guy, the stuff plus people are going nuts over Mizrachi. We mentioned the big dumper, Kyle Rowley. Sure, I guess if you want to play him, I just don't see myself going there. Or basically any hitters in this game. It's a stay away for me. Where are you putting the Mariners and the Brew Crew?
Yeah, I mean, as far as stuff, man, I said it after about his second start or so. I made a comment. The guy might end up having the best fastball in baseball before it's all said and done here really soon. It's just electric. The velocity on it combined with where he locates, that's going to be a tough pitch to hit for his whole career, assuming he keeps it up. So this is a no-brainer for me. Both these teams are in tier 5. I have no desire to stack in this ballpark against either of these 2 pitchers. That's absurd. So they're both tier 5s.
We got the Dodgers lineup. There's no Teoscar Hernandez. Leading off is Betts, Ohtani, Smith, banged out a couple homers last night. Freddie Freeman, Andy Paez, he homered last night too. Conforto in the 6 hole, Kim in the 7, Miguel Rojas, and then James Outman, who is appropriately named because what does he do? Makes a lot of outs. He's 2K. Against Woods Richardson, who's not a pitcher we're necessarily afraid of. But yeah, Teoscar being out of this lineup does weaken it a little bit. Casey's saying Teoscar's having his bobblehead night tonight. They're not playing him on his bobblehead night. That feels like something you should coordinate.
Dave Roberts.
That's egregious.
What a bum, Dave Roberts.
It's a fireable offense.
Read the room, Roberts. Luck boxed into a title because they gave you the biggest payroll ever in the history of sports on your. Come on, man.
I kind of like Roberts actually, but I don't.
He's a bum.
I mean, maybe he doesn't know, but I would change the lineup and say, "Oh, wait a second, they're giving out the bobbleheads, Outman to the bench." Unless he's dinged. As far as I know, he's healthy. But anyways, Minnesota on the other side, they're big dogs. Yamamoto, one of the better pitchers throwing baseballs tonight. That's why Minnesota barely has a 3 total. Twins, Dodgers. The Twins are our only hope to go in that 80 show. I don't think they're going to make it, but you tell me. This is what people have been tuning in for. The suspense is palpable.
Ooh, Dean, here we go. The LA Dodgers against a very marginal pitcher that I'm not really like too afraid of at all. That's a tier 2 team for me. That's a tier 2 team for me. So the Dodgers are in tier 2. Here we go. Minnesota, the last gasp effort, Dean.
Steve's trying to force the issue here. He's trying to force your hand.
Before we even do that, Dean, this is the perfect time to bring in Chop's knocker blocker.
Woo!
I didn't see the survey, but I'm assuming people went with the knocker blocker or the rally road blocker. The knocker blocker. We'll go with knocker blocker. That sounds better. I don't know if you were tuned in last night, Dean, but Tanner Scott for the Dodgers, just a stalwart in their bullpen.
He's
big
hurt.
Time. Left with a forearm injury. Those are never good. Like never good. So hopefully he gets back soon, but he's out for the foreseeable future. Big piece to the bullpen. Other guys are going to have to step up even further, Dean, even more. Alex Vesla, 29 years old, left-handed pitcher for the Dodgers. Been very good. Digging into him, Dean. This is his 6th year in the big leagues. Like, this isn't a fluke. His 5 previous seasons as a reliever here have been really good. He's had high strikeout rates. He had low xFIP. He's on, he's good at this. So, Dean, he has a 39% K rate against left-handed hitters. Mm-hmm. So that's the guy you want to bring in against lefties. I'm going to tell you how he does it, Dean. He does it with a slider. His slider is a 23% swinging strike rate against left-handed hitters. 23% swinging strike. It just breaks away. It just tails away from lefties, and they can't get to it. So that's the guy, lefty stopper, knocker blocker tonight. If it's a close game, expect to see Vesla in there at some point, especially with the Twins and the way they run their lineups out there. And they're always like adjusting things and pinch hitting guys and all that other stuff. So because of that, Dean, because we got a good starter, and I know we've got some pieces that can come out of the bullpen to just stifle the offense, Minnesota's a tier 5 for me. Minnesota's a tier 5. We're going to end this thing with no. Now, I have to say, Dean, it wasn't on the fly because this should be celebrated, Steve. This isn't, this should be celebrated.
Take a screenshot. You're never going to see this ever again.
Houston was going to be there, but you talked me off of that ledge. You talked me off of it, so props to you. But I don't mind the way that played out like that.
Vesla and Yates will probably be the guys like 1 and 1A as far as closers, but the Dodgers don't necessarily have a closer too. They kind of go on feel and spot and all that. They've been worked hard too. You mentioned Vesla. He threw 29 pitches on Sunday, so probably available. I'm sure he's available today, but Yates, back-to-back games, not working hard, but 9 pitches, 13 pitches the previous game before that, and then also threw on Friday. Banda, they gave him a rest yesterday because he threw 3 straight games in a row. Maybe they let Yamamoto go. Well, they don't care about these games, right? They're just waiting for
I don't think they care, Dean, because Milwaukee's got the best record in baseball. Yeah. At some point, like the thing, even if you're the Dodgers, I don't care. Even if you're the Dodgers, even if you're the best team, you don't want to you have to grab a number 1 or a number 2 seed in your league. You can't get caught in that 3-game series to start off. So you've got to make sure you get a 1 or 2 seed so you don't get caught in a 3-game series. That's death for good teams right there. So
yeah, I mean, even the best teams can lose 3 out of 5 versus mediocre teams. It's just
and we've seen the 2 out of 3 just absolutely derail really good teams before. So yeah, I think they do care more than what we think they care. Actually,
I'm going to recap the board here, Chop. What we did, if you're just joining us late, and afterwards, after I recap the board, Chop's going to tell us not just the knockers, but also he's going to tell us today's BBP suggestion of the day. This was I did rank spin-off TV shows. Better Call Saul in the 1 hole. That's the Mets, the Cubs, St. Louis. Colbert Report is tier 2. That's Tampa, Atlanta, Colorado, and the Dodgers. Right in the middle, A Different World. It's the Yankees, Toronto, the Angels, San Fran, Texas, Houston, Arizona. Nobody wants to hang out with that 80 show. Is that bad? That 80 show is all by it's lonesome. However, Saved by the Bell, the college years, it's got the White Sox, the Athletics, Kansas City, Milwaukee, Seattle, and the Twins. Chop, knockers.
Just the knockers, or you want a BVP suggestion?
Give me both. Give me everything you got.
Yeah, BVP suggestion of the day, Dean. I'm sticking in the desert with it. Even, Jose Altuve, man. I'm sticking in there. He's the one guy that kind of jumped out to me a little bit. There's not a lot tonight. There really wasn't a lot. But I'm going to put Altuve down. People get this thing like they think it's all about these at-bats against the pitcher. It's not all about just the at-bats and the results. There's a lot
batter
of
versus pitcher. That's how they get the beat. That's what it stands for. Literally, that's why they get the idea.
It's an algorithm, Dean. It takes a lot of things into account, though. It could also be the styles mashing or clashing. Like what makes styles make for a good heavyweight fight?
Boxing?
Yeah, styles. What is Jose Altuve like? In addition to other things,
he's gonna punch Rod in the face.
He loves fastballs, and he loves them probably like chest high. He'll swing at something in his eyeballs. Erod throws a lot of fastballs, and he throws them high in the zone. I think Altuve's got a little bit of history against him, but Altuve's going to be the suggestion of the day. I think Altuve matches up really well.
He's also 36, Chop. Not to,
I don't know if you looked at his numbers. That 36 are still better than the average guy in Major League Baseball. Did you know
Brian
that?
says he loves cheating at the plate. I guess we want cheaters, right? When we're rostering players, we want guys
that helps us, man. That helps us. And, Brian's probably a fan of the Yankees, but anyway. So Altuve, I think it's a good matchup for him. BVP suggestion of the day. Knockers, Dean. Knockers. Windy City Knockers, brother. In fact, Dean, anytime you can people always say when you go and to Disney World, you got to ride Space Mountain.
People always say that?
Yeah, you got to ride Space Mountain. Things happen on Space Mountain.
Space
Mountain ride. Well, Dean, we're taking our knockers and we're riding Dick Mountain tonight. I mean, you are. You're riding Dick Mountain, I think. But I mean, that's another story. Like, we're
referencing Rich Hill, just for clarity, if people don't know. That's a reference to Rich Hill.
This whole segment caught me off guard because the Dick Mountain thing came to me at one time. I wasn't even thinking about that. But anyway, Windy City, Nico Horner, Carson Kelly. Nico Horner, Carson Kelly, 1-4 in the order. 2 cheap Chicago Cub bats. It's a couple knockers on Dick Mountain tonight. Shit. This is because we're rolling, Dean. We're rolling.
I thought you were going to just cop out and say Suzuki, which is the obvious one. But okay, you're going Horner and Carson Kelly taking on.
What benefit would that do for anybody if I just copped out, Dean?
I don't know what benefit does the relief pitcher report do, but you still you still do it.
What are we? Whoa! We have to have a conversation in Slack about this, Dean. This is not cool, man.
So today's Television Tuesday as we yield to Crunch Time. Crunch Time coming here in just a minute. They're in the bullpen. Speaking of relievers, they're going to be coming in and closing out the show, taking you all the way up to lock. Beimfohr, Dave Potts, Kevin Roth, cheaper, just Kevin Roth as well. So today's Television Tuesday, clue number one was George, which was in reference to, people said yesterday, I know nothing about literature, they called me out, but it was in reference to George Orwell, who of course wrote 1984. In 1984, everybody references 1984 because of, it's the name of the show, Big Brother. Head is clue number 2. Head of household. Everybody wants to be head of household on that's what I'm told, on Big Brother. That's a big thing. You want to be head of household. You have the control. Expel, people get vetoed. People get kicked out of the house. They get expelled, evicted from the house. So expel is just another way of being evicted from the house in Big Brother. 4, compete. There's a lot of competitions. They have a ton of competition to determine, in part, who is head of household, I'm told. And 5 is watching, Chop, because Big Brother is watching. Big Brother is watching. That is today's Television Tuesday. Chop, you got it, as well as Dunk 101. Got a week free of RG Premium. Let's go ahead. Seamlessly segue for Roth has me tilted. I don't know if you saw in chat. He was talking down Better Call Saul. I'm like, that's outrageous. Well, just a terrible take out the gate. And Roth just wants to get on my bad side. Let's bring him in nonetheless. It's Kevin Roth. It's Dave Potts. It's Beimfohr. It's Crunch Time right now. Roth, you got me tilted.
We've actually thought about this before. It's just a boring show. It's a good show. It's a beautiful show. It's boring.
Even his microphone is disagreeing with his take. Yeah,
his microphone's bored of him.
Is that not working?
Yeah, we thought about it before, and I guess I'm still angry about it. I can't accept it. But things aren't blowing up every 3 seconds. They take their time, they pace themselves, but they get there. And if you've seen the show, I think it's worth the ride. It's just like Space Mountain, as Jock would say. Everybody's telling me, people sliding in my DMs. You ever been to Space Mountain? It's all the rage these days. So do we have a favorite If not Better Call Saul, what is the best spin-off show, Roth? Do you have a retort?
Well, now I'm worried that my microphone sucks and I can't think about anything.
It's on now.
Oh, did it work?
I hear you.
It sounds better.
I hear you.
Okay.
Yes.
This is such a weatherman take. Just answer the question. Jeez.
I don't know. I was worried about my mic. I didn't even hear the question. I was still
okay.
thinking about Chop saying Dick Mountain. Like, I don't know. You know?
Do you know the story in that? Just to add clarity, because if you don't know the story of it, just sounds very strange. That's why I was trying to add context. But they, Major League Baseball has this thing, and I don't know if they're doing it anymore, if they still do it, or if it's coming later this season, like Players Weekend, and the players are allowed to like put their own like nicknames on the back of their jerseys. And Rich Hill wanted to be Dick Mountain. And it was a whole to do, and I don't think they let him do it. Did they let him do it?
No, I didn't know that. I just thought Chop was randomly saying Dick Mountain.
Yeah, I mean, in hindsight, Rod, if somebody's tuning into the show and they didn't know that piece of info, it probably does sound a little bit risque.
I did not know what was going on. But okay,
my apologies for all those people out there who didn't know. Dick Mountain is a real person, not just a Dean's Ride at Disney.
I laughed so hard, and I had no idea what was happening. But it is good to have that context. Thank you.
Do we know if they're doing that this year? Does anybody know if they're doing Players Weekend? I mean, if anything, then we want Rich Hill to stick around, I suppose. But Dave, by the way, I loved your article today where you had a whole soliloquy on Rich Hill. I couldn't believe it either that he's throwing.
Yeah, what a great thing to see. Yeah, I like, and I really mean it. Like, regardless of how great or terrible he is, he's a hero. Like, how many people would like toil around not even making it on a minor league team for a year and sticking with it because he wanted to play? Like, good for him.
There is Players Weekend, August 15th to the 17th. So hopefully Rich Hill sticks around long enough. Probably won't.
I would be stunned.
We'll see how that plays out. Myself and Chop will get out of here. Did anybody else want to throw out? Was there something missed as far as the best and worst spinoff? Is Beimfohr, are you a big like Baywatch Nights guy? Are you upset that was left off the board? I'm not sure.
This is not a spinoff, but the first thing that came to mind was, you know how Saved by the Bell went to like the college years and the whatever, and they just straight up ruined the show. So it's not an answer to your question. But I don't know why that's where my
did you not see the board?
Was it? No, I was not paying. I was paying as much attention as Roth was.
It was at the bottom.
That was in the 5-hole. That was the worst spinoff, the college years, which is
absolutely awful.
Yeah, with was it Mike Golick? It was one of the Golicks was involved in it as well.
Yes,
but Bob Golick, one of the Golicks, and of course the original cast there, Save the Bell. But all right, let's. Did Chop? I thought Chop disappeared, but I still see him on the screen. But myself,
said, let's go, and then you drug it out even further, man. So,
all right, you guys got plenty of time. You have 45 minutes, 10 games for crunch time. That was myself and Chop. Hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications. By the way, programming note, we're going to be on in the morning, like 10, 11 o'clock in the morning for Wednesday. So myself and Stevie, there will be crunch time as well. But that's it. That's it for me. Now it's crunch time. Take over, Roth. It's all yours.
Good stuff. As always, welcome to it, ladies and gents. You know the drill. It's crunch time. It's two of the sharpest minds in the biz. Dave Potts, Cheeseisgood in the house. What up, Cheese?
Not too much. It's good to see you. It's been a while. And,
yeah.
Here we are.
Here we are indeed.
Here it is.
Beimfohr as well. It has not been a while. I feel like we saw each other like yesterday or I don't know, recently. What's up, man? How are you?
We're on a heater. As Cheese mentioned on Twitter, it's a great slate because we don't have to talk about our Lord and Savior Jeffrey Springs giving me 4 fantasy points every single. I played notably Roth on Sunday. I did play Jeffrey Springs. You would be proud to know.
It was so hard not
Gavin
to.
Williams.
Same. Oh, I mean, how could you 5,900 right against the Guardians?
I wasn't even gonna play on Sunday, and then you open up the slate and you're like, oh shit, I know what happened. 5,900 Jeffrey Springs against Cleveland, and I'm like, I got to do it. And then the pitcher on the other side, goes for 40, and Springs gets so. Positive Tuesdays. There's no Jeffrey Springs. There's a lot of fun to talk about, though I will admittedly probably be negative about my own baseball team in a little bit, who's going to be quite popular in Coors Field, but we'll get to it.
Okay. Well, that was a good segue for what is to come, because while we're all having fun and it's all fun and games, the weather, not very fun today. This morning, I thought Tampa was going to be the biggest problem, and now I don't even think it's going to rain in Tampa. There are still some models that pop up storms. Like, I won't rule it out, but I don't think models have any idea what the hell is going to happen in Tampa. But I think it's going to be fine. And I would play whoever and whatever you want in Tampa. But as the risk in Tampa got lower, the risk in Colorado got higher. And what sucks about that is that it's way after lock, right? So I don't really have any legitimate knowledge of what the outcome will be in Colorado. I think based on the upside and their overall proclivity to just play through whatever, they're really patient. You just play them and you go about it playing everything in Colorado. But I'm a little nervous, and we'll have to see what radar looks like pregame.
You got to correct me, Roth, but they're pretty patient, right? In Coors, yeah, like the
famously
most trustworthy in terms of finding a way to get the game in. Which I don't know if that's good or bad.
No, they stick it out. I mean, there have been times when the field gets flooded and they can't play. There's other times where it just rains for 4 hours and they can't play. But like, unless one of those two things happens, they'll stick it out. And I don't really know what's going to happen with the weather there, other than that there's going to be rain around. So plan on playing them. Check my Twitter pregame. We'll look at radar. I think it'll probably work out. Cheese looks just devastated. He looks so mad at me.
No, that's fine. It's not your fault that the game's like that late at night. I don't think you set the schedule, so it's fine.
Yeah. All right. So that's my game plan, is just play it for now, but do double check, because there is a chance that leading into the game, I'm like, pivot to all those other West Coast games that are later than that. Hopefully not, because that would be annoying. And then also in Atlanta, there's a chance of a delay. Do we want pitchers there, Cheese?
No.
Good. Okay. Then just do, play your bats. It should be fine. That's it. That's what I got. Yeah. All right. Let's go into the pitcher talk. Who wants it? First one to raise their hand gets it.
Oh, I'll take pitchers.
Hey, there we go. I didn't think I was going to get a volunteer. What do you got, Beimfohr?
Well, so I'm actually curious how Cheese is thinking about this, but to me, there's like a big three of pitchers on this slate. How we rank them for tournaments versus cash versus whatever is probably a little bit up for debate. But Logan Gilbert, Jacob deGrom, and Jacob Misiorowski to me just stand out like head and shoulders above the field. Both like they're the best pitcher. like they're actually like really, really good. It's one of the rare slates I feel like in quite a while that we have like three of the best pitchers in all of baseball. And yes, Misiorowski to me is one of the best pitchers in baseball. He's younger, so maybe a little, he's only famously made the All-Star game after five starts, which really got the boomers triggered. There was a lot of yelling at clouds when Jacob Misiorowski made the All-Star game, but nonetheless, he's awesome. And I think the spot is fine. Seattle is a dangerous offense that he's facing, but a high strikeout offense. And he's carved up the Dodgers. He's also gotten beat up a little bit by like the Mets. So he's a little bit maybe boom bust, but I think the boom for him is as good as it gets. He's super, super talented. DeGrom is I don't know actually who I would call the highest floor between DeGrom and Gilbert. Gilbert has been probably the best pitcher on this slate this year with a track record longer than Misiorowski. His matchup is like fine. The Brewers are like not a scary offense, but you're not like, craving targeting the Brewers. I don't think with a pitcher though. Gilbert has been outstanding, and on DraftKings, I do not think 9,200 is indicative of the pitcher that he is. So I really like him from a price standpoint. DeGrom just a little bit more expensive, and facing the A's, who are like a fun, powerful young offense, but can give up a whole lot of strikeouts. And they're morphing back into the A's, a better version of the A's we've been targeting for the last couple of years, because they have some actual talent on their offense, but still high upside for DeGrom. Mm-hmm. How I rank those guys, I'm not entirely sure, but like what you do with them versus what you do, with Coors. We'll get to the Cubs against Mr. Dick Mountain and such. What you do, like, the slate to me, it's easy to break down pitching in a vacuum and it's easy to break down hitting in a vacuum, but kind of how you put it all together is really the crux of what you're going to do. Because are you going to play two of the really chalky pitchers, and then you're going to play Coors, or then you're going to play the Cubs, or then I haven't figured that out myself. Hopefully I'll figure that out for my own teams in the next 45 minutes, but kind of how you put it all together. There's some other options that are interesting, Yamamoto, Boyd, etc. But it's really those big three, and then how you handle it from there that defines the slate, at least at pitcher.
Okay, interesting. We'll see if Cheese has a similar thought. Cheese, he's got a big three. You got a big
It's kind of a big 4. Like Yamamoto is right, just
close.
But I do agree, it's 3. It's like a big 3 plus 1.
Yeah, 3.5.
3.5.
Yeah,
there we go.
So like if you had Yamamoto in that same bucket, I think that's fine. But I also have Yamamoto 4th, so I'm fine calling it a big 3.
I Keel You in chat says Yamamoto also has an extreme pitcher's ump. So I don't know if we care about those things or if we even trust I Keel You, but it's a note.
I mean, I trust him, but I don't care about the ump for Yamamoto.
Oh.
Like I don't think he's lying to me about the ump. I just Yamamoto and an ump doesn't swing things for me. I think the interesting thing about this all is how little we actually know about Mizorowski, other than that he definitely has upside, and that because projections aren't going to like a young kid with a high walk rate, he's not going to be probably even half the ownership of DeGrom and Gilbert.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's right, just because of the unknown. And I do think he's going to be way more susceptible to blowups because of that control. And the control is not going to get better. Like it's going to get worse, but not necessarily tonight. It might be 3 starts from now that he blows up again. So I went out of my way to play a little more Mizorowski than I wanted to, just because I trust Gilbert and DeGrom more, and they're both cheaper on DK, and Gilbert's cheaper on FanDuel. My general lean is that I don't think it's likely enough that Mizorowski has like a break the slate game, that I'm still playing Gilbert and DeGrom ahead of him. But I do think the ownership is probably a little too skewed toward those two guys. If you tend to play more of the ownership game, this would be the slate to be on Mizorowski. And then there's only a couple of cheaper things that I think are playable tonight.
So most people are playing 2 of those 3. Like that's kind of the pool for the most part.
DeGrom and Gilbert are both under 10K, and there's some cheap bats. Like it's not that hard. So like in cash, I think DeGrom Gilbert is like a no-brainer. Mm-hmm. And even in tournament, it's not that hard. And Mizorowski is only 10-3. So they've just kind of, the pricing after the break has loosened a little bit on DK. And on FanDuel, only DeGrom is priced up, but Gilbert's pretty cheap. So yes, I think the bulk of the ownership goes to the expensive guys. But I do have some Matthew Boyd. I don't have any of, but he's a good pitcher. And it's like, if you're playing him, I have no argument with you. I just didn't get there. So for me, Frankie Montas is my air quotes favorite cheaper guy. He's not great, but like he's looks okay against righties, and the Angels are a bunch of righties who strike out. So he's my preferred spend down. Eduardo Rodriguez and Max Scherzer are both like maybe, but you can see them both giving up 7 runs in 2 innings also. So that's why I prefer Montas. And then I think the other interesting thing is JT Ginn on DK only at 5,500. I think he probably more likely gets 3 innings and 55 pitches than anything. And that's just not going to help you on this slate because you don't need the salary that badly. Theoretically, if everything just went magically, he could go 5 innings, but it's doubtful. And there's not a lot of lineups where you need the salary. So I have like 1 or 2 Gins tossed into 20 lineups on DraftKings.
Geez, let's say that ownership and price don't matter to you, and you're just picking the 2 of those 3 that you think will score the most points tonight. Who do you choose?
DeGrom and Gilbert.
Okay. That's why I was curious if you thought.
Yeah, like I feel like I don't need to chase an extra, 8 points of ceiling from Mizorowski when I know the downside is so much more realistic as well.
Yeah. Okay. Well said. MC Kittle says, how about Scherzer? Is Scherzer on the slate?
He's on the slate.
He's getting a pass because Rich Hill's still pitching, and Scherzer's out here just like still living his best life in the major leagues. It's crazy. Verlander, Scherzer, all these guys are still alive and kicking.
Is Scherzer? Did he drop off to Verlander level?
Yeah, honestly, not really. Close. But so I took a sneak peek at tomorrow's early slate. Uh-huh. Verlander is the lowest price pitcher on the slate, below Bailey Falter. We have gotten there, folks. But that's for another day. So the thing about Scherzer, he has been essentially Erik Beimfohr against lefties, and the Yankees are a bunch of power lefties. Like, I don't actually think he's that bad, but I don't see how you could play him personally
in that matchup. Okay. And then FanDuel real quick. I'm assuming it's just one of those 3 top dogs for you, but I don't know if that's the case, Cheese.
DeGrom's kind of out for me because he's 11,000 and Gilbert's 9,700. And given that it's kind of a toss up, like, just play the guy who's 9,700.
Okay. Beimfohr, anything you want to add there? Pitchers, FanDuel, or no?
No, I'm not surprised Scherzer is still alive to the chat. I mean, alive and ticking, like, as a baseball player. Like, he's not that much older than me. So no, I'm not surprised that he's still actually, like, living and breathing. I just mean pitching. It's impressive. It's impressive. Right. I'm sitting here talking about him pitching in the major leagues in my basement, and he's actually earning millions and millions of dollars. Though
it always cracks me up when we're like banging, hey, this guy sucks. Yeah,
so old. This old guy.
I gotta drink some water because I'm tired from talking to you guys already.
This old guy.
Yeah, he is actually my age. Cool. All right. Let's flip it. Let's talk about the bats and the stacks. Cheese, you said it's kind of easy. You play the pitchers you want because you've got the money to do what you want. So who are you stacking up?
Okay. I'm no less confused than I was all morning. If you read my article, it just sounds like me just being confused for 3 hours. I'm not playing any Cardinals. Done. Not a single Cardinal bat, not one in any lineup on either side.
They're the one. They're in course, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I still think they probably score the most runs on the slate. This is not one of those, I think the Cardinals are going to bust. This is one of those. That was true.
Yeah.
I think the Cardinals score 12 runs, and I'm not sure that it's DFS relevant. I mean, it certainly could be, and I'm not telling you not to play them. And if you wanted to do 150 Cardinal stacks, I think that's fine. Mm-hmm. There's so many teams with just simply better baseball players. So give me those teams. So for me, that's going to be the Cubs, the Dodgers, the Yankees. I like the Rockies quite a bit on the other side. Kind of the Braves and Giants, and then I like the Mets a little bit too.
Okay, very good. Erik, who are your favorite stacks in order if possible?
Yeah, so I just want to reiterate, also not the Cardinals. I've been so I'm the kind of sports fan, Roth, that like a lot of people get like they're in on their team no matter what. I talk to like Steelers fans that are still like, we're the Steelers. I don't care what you say about Aaron Rodgers and this team this year and all. And I'm like, you are in for a rude awakening, brother. Like, it's not gonna go well. And I'm the opposite. I'm very critical of I want my teams to be the best.
That's how I feel. I am hypercritical of my teams. Yeah. I am like more negative about my teams than the average team.
Because we want them to be the best that we possibly. So we're very overly critical. And the Cardinals have been great for one of the better baseball franchises. I've been very critical of because I know that they can be good. And this team has exceeded expectations. And so now they're in Coors Field against, Bradley Blaylock pitching in a Major League Baseball game is far more shocking than Rich Hill pitching in a Major League Baseball game. It doesn't make any sense. Like, at least Rich Hill has some form of like nostalgia or has been good in the majors before. I know he's, very old, but so the matchup is as good as it gets, like truly as good as it gets for the Cardinals. The problem is they are about as bad as it gets as an offense. And from a fantasy perspective, they're even worse. Like, their best hitter is Brendan Donovan. He's the only player who made the All-Star game for the Cardinals. He's a good Major League Baseball player, but he's like a doubles hitter.
You're right.
Like, is really what Brendan Donovan is. And he's $5,000.
If you're not hitting bombs and swiping bags,
he doesn't steal. He doesn't really hit for a lot of power. Yeah. Right? Ivan Herrera, cool. He's 5,500 at catcher. Like, he can hit a home run, but that's not great. Nolan Arenado is a corpse. Wilson Contreras is a first baseman now and not a catcher anymore. Alec Burleson is out. Lars Nootbaar is out. Like, it's a bad lineup. Like, it's a bad team. And so with the weather concerns also, I think it's going to play. We all probably think it's going to play. I'm just Xing them out. I'm more interested in the Rockies side of the Coors game. Erik Beimfohr has been awful. Like, absolutely awful. Like, it was fun, like, when he came back to the White Sox, and for the Cardinals, he was good last year. He's been absolutely downright atrocious this year. So I prefer the Rocky side, although I think it was mentioned. I think Sosa might have mentioned it in the chat. The Cubs are my top stack. Sorry, Rich Hill. Like, this feels like a once in a lifetime opportunity to take to get the Cubs against this, corpse of a 45-year-old man. No, like I'll if I lose, cool. Like I'll salute, I'll clap for Rich Hill, I guess, in my living room. But like I'm figuring out how to fit the Cubs in because with ownership, because they're not going to be low owned. And if other people are concerned about the weather in Coors, it'll only bring up the Cubs ownership. But right now they're not projecting to be like more owned than the Cardinals and Coors Field overall. And so the Cubs are just like an absolute standout. And then I do really, really like the Yankees against Scherzer. The lefties specifically, but you can always play Aaron Judge is Aaron Judge, but the Scherzer has been like still pretty good against righties, like he has always been historically, and against lefties he's been like truly horrible. And they have some pretty darn good lefties on the Yankees. So that's I'm pretty focused in at the top while fading the chalky Cardinals.
Okay, good stuff, guys. Got a couple questions in, and I want to give a birthday shout out. We don't do these, but we're going to start to Juice15, who says, happy birthday to me. It's good to see each and every one of you. Let's have a wonderful MLB day. That was so pleasant. Happy birthday, Juice. I feel like we do birthday narratives here on the show. Like, oh, it's his birthday. He's going to hit a home run. It's Juice's birthday. He's taken down a GPP. So happy birthday.
I love it.
To Juice. And then Bregonia says, hey, how about this Yankees pitcher? Please don't make me spell it. Who is
Schlittler? It's Schlittler.
Oh.
Remember Schlittler? Yeah.
I called him Schittler for an entire show and thought I was correct. I just didn't see the L. Are we playing Schittler or no?
No.
All right.
He he missed a start with a sore arm. And when you have a child who may or may not be good, and then he's got a sore arm, like if he comes out and throws a couple balls, like they may just pull him out of the game.
Right. Yeah. So if he touches his shoulder.
Yeah. Like that's not the kind of thing they mess with. And he might be fine, but even if he is, we don't know if he's good against a low strikeout team.
Yeah. The matchup is terrible anyway. Yeah. There's not any reason.
All right. Okay. Let's go around the horn position by position. Beimfohr, start us off with catcher.
Catcher, I actually like a little bit. So if you like Coors, because Hunter Goodman and Ivan Herrera are two guys in Coors Field that I think are good targets tonight. I mentioned I'm more interested in the Rocky side, so Hunter Goodman is up there for me. I mean, Herrera is one of the Cardinals that I actually like. It's like a baseball player. Although, if you look at his splits, they're wild. He is absolutely destroying left-handed pitching. Thankfully, Cardi isn't here. I can say this because Cardi's not here. Like he is, like all of his production is coming against left-handed pitching. It's kind of crazy. And Blaylock is not left-handed. I'm not sure it matters against Blaylock. Like he basically throws underhand, but still, notable. Carson Kelly has luckily come down in price from his like 6K days that we had a couple of months ago, and now he feels like actually a reasonable play, especially against a lefty. And then you do have Pajes for the Cardinals too, but that he can't hit, so no thank you. Ben Rice is next up for me at catcher. Just being able to play Ben Rice at catcher on DraftKings is just like still a cheat code. I'm going to keep taking advantage of it as much as I can. He's basically a first baseman who we can play at catcher, even though catcher's a little bit stronger nowadays. And then I just want to shout out Drake Baldwin. I like the Braves a little, not like anything special, but I think Drake Baldwin is very good. He's been very good against right-handed pitching and just had probably the best game of his major league career. The Braves are about to be in sell mode, and I think they're going to give Baldwin, premium lineup spots like they are tonight down the stretch here to let the young kid cook a little bit.
Yeah, very good. Also, just informed we have 70,000 watching or something like that, and only 118 likes. And a reminder, this show is only free if we're getting eyeballs, and the eyeballs are growing. And the eyeballs grow by hitting the thumbs up, by getting more eyes. So please do smash that like button for us. We greatly appreciate it, and it helps keep the show free. Cheese, catcher.
Yeah, same thoughts. Catcher is great. It's almost always great. Hunter Goodman's one of my favorite plays on the slate at any position. As much as I also love you can play Ben Rice at catcher, I love that you can play Austin Wells and Ben Rice in the same lineup and be different. I absolutely love it. Will Smith, I like a lot. But But you can go cheap too. Like you can play Yenner Diaz and Sal Perez. It's a great position.
Okay, very good. First base.
I don't know if it's a great position or not. It's definitely a good Ohtani night, any night. But this is a good matchup for Ohtani on DK. Play some Ohtani. On FanDuel, I love Jonathan Aranda. He's only 2,900, and he's like 4,700 on DK, which seems more appropriate. Pete Alonso is a guy I love that I don't think anyone's really playing. Christian Walker is a good cheap play. Rowdy Tellez on DraftKings. Random cheap dart if you need one. I mean, all the other big guys are fine, like Olsen, Vlad, Freeman. It's all kind of fine. And, of course, in cash, you would probably play Wilson Contreras. Toglia is fine. But if I had to just pick a couple, it would be Alonso and Ben Rice.
Beimfohr, your thoughts at first? Oh, yeah. Oh, he's got the Niefer hat. He's got Grant's hat on. It's so good. Beimfohr, what are you doing at first?
I do like J3 says the polar bear. I do like the polar bear tonight. I'm with you. He seems like the guy that's like could hit like 3 home runs tonight and is completely falling through the cracks. And those are my favorite play. I'm looking for those kinds of guys tonight specifically. It does help that I'm going to stack the Cubs and they're playing Justin Turner at first base. And so I don't have to worry about a first baseman with the Cubs. We can go home run hunting for an upside bat. Pete Alonso is probably one of my favorites. Wilson Contreras is my least favorite play on the slate. 5K Wilson. I mean, he's a good hitter, but I just can't play he's the only guy projecting over 10% and he's projecting at 18.5%. And like Ohtani is here and Alonso is here and Ben Rice is here and Jonathan Aranda, as Cheese mentioned on FanDuel, that's ridiculous. I can't figure it out. We don't got to go on about it, but I can't figure it out. What does he have to do for it to be respected? Like he's an awesome hitter, I guess, but mainly, against right-handed pitching. I assume that's the problem, but 2,900 on FanDuel is ridiculous. He's probably the best point per dollar play for me over there. I think we mentioned like Toglia and the Yankees guys. And then Ohtani, this might be a rare night I play Ohtani in the outfield. I almost always play him at first base, but tonight is probably an Ohtani night for me, though I think I'm going to have him in the outfield.
Yeah. All right. Second base.
Awful. Absolutely awful. Can I play a catcher at second base? My favorite second baseman is Jazz Chisholm because Nico Horner is hitting leadoff for the Cubs, and that's great. And he can run, and he's a decent hitter. But you might have a better chance of hitting a home run than Nico Horner in a Major League Baseball game, even against Rich Hill. So I'm struggling with that one. It's like leading off for the stack that I love at a reasonable price. Like he's 3,700. It's a pretty awesome situation for Nico Horner, but I don't love playing him. Jazz on the opposite side, I love playing because he hits for a lot of power. And did you see what he did the other day in the Braves series? He was on second base and he was signaling in, like not being conspicuous at all, signaling in what pitch was coming to the guy who was hitting. And they almost had a legal? I don't know. Honestly, like not again the unwritten rules of baseball. The unwritten rules, very clear.
He's gonna get hit in the head. Yeah.
So that's what they got into, like almost like a brawl, and it was weird. The Braves manager was he was doing this and saying, like, telling Jazz to think, like, don't do that. You know what I mean? Like, think. And everybody thought he was directing his pitcher to bean Jazz in the head.
Hilarious.
So it was a hilarious whole run out. Like, everybody was acting a fool during that situation. But that's Jazz Chisholm. He's really, really fun. Though maybe an idiot. But he's my favorite play at second base. If you do like the Cardinals, obviously more, Brendan Donovan is the Cardinals' best hitter. So I won't knock anybody for playing that. And then I would be completely remiss if I did not mention, three home runs. He should take baseball a little bit more seriously, I think, Jazz. The Astros punts. I'm not playing any bit of Astros, but if you really, really, really need a punt at second base, which is horrible, Shea Whitcomb is back in our lives.
He's not
tonight.
He's out. He's not playing.
Is it Bryce Matthews? Is Bryce
It is
Matthews?
Bryce Matthews.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine. That's fine.
It's
Bryce
close
Matthews
enough.
and Shea Whitcomb are the same player. And the 2K creative player for the Astros at second base. Bryce Matthews is going to take Erod deep tonight. There's your. We're getting ahead of the home run calls, but he's $2,000 on DraftKings.
Okay. By the way, Dean pointing out, or producer Steve, the 3 home runs in the home run derby. I am embarrassed to admit I did a celebrity home run derby, and they moved the fences into like little league level, and I only hit 3 home runs, and it was. I'm really not good at baseball. Like it's not my thing, man. Cheese, would you have hit more than 3 home runs in a little league home run derby?
Not a chance.
No, you just got to get the ball in the air. That's all.
Honestly, not a chance.
Dude, it's like what is it, like 200 feet or something? It's a little league
probably.
fence. Yeah,
I can't get
so
near
short.
200 feet. No.
Yeah. Oh,
No.
all right. Well, that makes me feel better. Anyways, it was pretty, and I was like the only fit person up there. You know, I came up looking jacked and just humiliated myself, man.
If you ever played beer league softball, though, it's not the fit guys that hit the ball.
No,
hard.
it's the big
fat
boys.
guys. Yeah,
it's the big boys. Cheese, what do you like at second?
I like Jazz Chisholm, and you got to spend up for him, and that's it. And then on DK, I'm just playing Bryce Matthews because the mid-tier stuff, anything under Jazz, like what are we even doing? I mean, Brendan Donovan, you would play in your stacks, and if for some reason you have the cash to play in cash, great, but don't. He's $5,000. He's going to go 2 for 4 with a run, which is just fine. But at that point, I would rather just play Bryce Matthews. And if he goes 0 for 4, you're probably better off than spending $5,000 for 2 for 4. I think Nico Horner and Ozzie Albies are fine. But again, like at that point, I don't care. Just play Bryce Matthews or Vivas for the Yankees. To me, it's Jazz or punt.
Yeah. All right. Third base.
We got more here. I like both the Giants guys, Devers and Chapman. Caminero should be off the radar. Ryan McMahon is interesting. It kind of dries up once you start looking for cheaper stuff. So ideally, I get up to at least that Chapman McMahon range. I think Brett Beatty, I didn't mention at second. He's viable-ish, as is Matt Shaw. I think they both fit better in stacks, but like they're fine. And you can also play Vivas at third. I actually had more Shea Whitcomb at third than second because I was punting both those spots with Matthews and Whitcomb, as was everyone. So now I'm kind of fishing around for if I want to just redo my lineups or just play Jorbit Vivas.
You do, I think.
Yeah,
it's on board.
Yeah.
Where are we at? Beimfohr, third base.
Yeah, it's not great. I do like Ryan McMahon. I mentioned like not really loving Coors Field, but I do very much like Ryan McMahon tonight. We don't need to hammer it home, but Eric Fetty, it's a tough scene. It's a very tough scene for Cardinals fans with Fetty right now. Obviously, if you like the Cardinals, play Arenado, but I honestly just can't fathom playing stone cold chalk Nolan Arenado in the year of our Lord 2025. Like I just can't do it. Thomas Sajaci, like I know he's 3,300, but like Thomas Sajaci is the third highest owned third baseman on a DFS slate. Like that's wild. Like he's a utility infielder. Like he just happens to wear a Cardinals jersey, so he's gonna be popular. No, thank you. Yeah, I like Chapman. I like Devers. Rafael Devers is like not even on the screen here, I think. And I think the Giants have some sneaky upside tonight. And Devers, yeah, you got to scroll. Is he at the bottom? Like literally the lowest third base?
No, you missed. He was second from the top.
Okay. I was about to say that would be yeah. So idiot me. But I do like Devers much more than Arenado. If I'm playing one of the popular guys, I much prefer Nacho Alvarez. This is a great name slate, is what we're learning here.
Yes.
Nacho Alvarez is still 2,200 at third base. Also played him on Sunday. He I think scored more points than Jeffrey Springs did in my lineup. So shout out to Nacho. And then, but I'm probably honestly playing Matt Shaw. I'm still keeping a light on for Matt Shaw. I think there's still talent there. At least this is a good matchup, and I'll just be upset tomorrow when he scores 4 points, and then that's the Matt Shaw story.
Yeah. Where are we at? Is it Cheese for short,
me.
or Beimfohr for short? Sorry.
Yeah, it's me. I don't love as much at short as I usually do. You see on the screen a couple of people tagged Ezekiel Tovar. That's because he's a good play tonight. He's 3,300. That's a absolutely terrible price in my opinion. In Coors Field against Eric Fedde. Corey Seager, it will continually be one of my top targets when he's 4,900 in an even reasonable matchup, of which tonight is, of course. I'm struggling with what to do between Dansby Swanson and Corey Seager, though, because I've made it known I'm playing the Cubs tonight. They're my priority, and Dansby really stands out to me, especially as not the highest owned third baseman against Rich Hill. You can play some of these other guys. Mookie, I've given up on Mookie Betts, and maybe that's wrong. Our projections continue to still kind of like Mookie Betts. But I do like the Dodgers tonight, though I don't really like Mookie. If I had to pick another shortstop, it would be Francisco Lindor for me tonight, because I think the Mets are in a pretty good spot, and Lindor's much further down the list than some of these other guys.
Okay, Cheese, shortstop.
Yeah, Tovar is too cheap, and on DraftKings, he's only 300, 400 less than Swanson. I would take Swanson straight up, though it's close. I also like Lindor as the spend up. I think Corey Seager is interesting. Texas is going to go completely overlooked because JT Ginn is okay and people are playing him, but he probably goes 4 innings and more than half a game against that bullpen. I do like. You can always play some Bobby Witt, but I prefer Lindor tonight.
Yeah. Okay, let's go to the outfield. Cheese, what are you doing?
Beimfohr did you know
ducking the outfield again?
I was going to say, did you notice how adamant he was? I'm on shortstop. I'm on it.
I raised my hand for pitcher, and I raised my hand for shortstop.
He's got the math figured out, man.
It only took
he
me
was terrified that you were going to screw it up,
months.
Even though he started right.
It took 3 months of shows.
Yeah. Well, we figured it out. All right. Cheese, you get to lead us off into the outfield. What do you like?
It's pretty great. So all the Cubs guys are pretty great. I think Suzuki is kind of and chalk is not the right word, but he'll be reasonably high owned. So Ohtani, Suzuki, and Juan Soto are my 3 favorite spend ups, followed by Tucker and PCA. It's pretty great to spend up if you can, because I like all those guys, and that doesn't even include Judge and Acuna. So yeah, spend up. But there's plenty of other stuff. I like Jordan Beck a ton in the mid tier. Moniak is also fine there. Ramos is okay. And then just a little cheaper. I'm playing a lot of Yankees. I love Grisham, Stanton. Stanton is more of a strikeout risk. Like Scherzer is still striking out righties, but Stanton is also finally hitting again, so I'm fine with him. Cam Smith, it looks like a pretty real person that no one had ever heard of until a couple months ago. But I think he's a real human, and he's leading off. I don't think there's anyone else I want to mention. There's obviously plenty of other plays, but
is Jose Altuve really the highest owned outfielder on this slate?
No,
well, because he's second base.
Yeah, I guess second.
Yeah,
it's more the second base.
Yeah.
But I was going to offer you that exact thing, Cheese. Your favorite player, high ownership. You can play him in the outfield just to be a little extra different. What do you think?
If you do that, nothing. You can do whatever you want. If it's actually reasonable to play Altuve tonight, and it rarely is, but just play him at second. Although there actually will be a lineup where you have to play Bryce Matthews.
To
make the salary work. So I'm not actually saying that it's unplayable if you're doing a Houston stack. If you're not doing a Houston stack, please play him at second if you're going to play him.
What was Dan Bach's line that he used to say when he was on air? He's like, if you're doing that, you're just
going to lose. If you're not,
Is
I
that-
believe it was I believe it was Russell Westbrook during his MVP season when he averaged a triple double and he was scoring like 90 fantasy points a night, and he was on Sirius and he said, if you're not playing him tonight, you're just gonna lose.
Yeah, and then I think he brought it
it.
back. I think that was kind of a thing.
Yeah, that was like the commercial that ran on the
Yes,
Fantasy
yes.
Sports Channel all the time. Yeah.
Oh
so
my
you
God.
heard that
Yep.
all the time.
Oh, good time.
It was still running last year when we were doing Sirius. Like every Sunday, me and Beer did Sirius, and the like lead in would. They finally made a new one, but for the first while, it was still DB, and like he hasn't done that in such
15
a long time.
years ago. Yeah, that is so awesome that still lived on. Yeah, if you're not doing that, you're just gonna lose. So good. All right, Beimfohr, what do you like in the outfield?
A lot of the same stuff. If you don't play Ohtani at first, obviously in the outfield, Cubs guys are my priority. I'm kind of mixing and matching whatever's gonna fit here. I love to play Kyle Tucker against lefties because I don't think it matters what handedness a pitcher is facing Kyle Tucker, though the field also seems to be playing Kyle Tucker, so I might not play him tonight. That makes PCA, I think, a little bit more appealing. Seiya Suzuki is always one of my favorite plays against left, just in Cubs stacks in general, but against lefties. Of course, anyone playing Jordan Walker as the sixth highest owned outfielder should just probably delete there. You're just going to lose, as DB would say. That's insane. Juan Soto. We mentioned some of the other guys. He's on the screen here, but I like Juan Soto a little bit tonight as a kind of contrarian spend up, like Acuna, like Judge. I think the contrarian spend ups tonight, PCA, are really, really good. Specifically in the outfield. If you want to move down a little bit, I think my favorite would be Trent Grisham. The price is much more reflective of who Trent Grisham is. I am a Trent Grisham slappy. I don't think we've got to one of my slappy guys yet, but I've been playing Trent Grisham for many a year.
Day.
Matt Boyd's on the slate. He's on there. Trent Grisham. I'm trying to think. There's some other. There's a handful on this slate, but Grisham stands out for sure. Oh, the other one in the outfield. Perfect segue. Final outfielder. $2,000 instead of playing Bryce Matthews, who I do love. Bryce Matthews.
Is it Nolan Gorman?
No. Nolan Gorman's on the IL for the Cardinals. He also plays third base, second/third base. James Outman. James Outman is doing the most James Outman stuff you've ever seen in your entire life. He goes down to the minors in 70 games. He hits 20 home runs. He steals 15 bases. He gets called up because they got some injuries with the Dodgers, and he hits a couple home runs, and he strikes out 40-something% of the time. He does nothing but hit a home run every 10 games and strike out a lot. I'm not really sure why he's in the lineup, to be totally honest. But
Teoscar, I think is banged up.
Is he banged up? So maybe he won't get pinch hit.
I'm just assuming that.
Yeah.
I hope he's banged up.
I can't help myself. Okay, James Outman, Will Benson, these losers who should be in AAA, they're like quad A players. They're too good for AAA, but they're not good enough for the major leagues. And I have a terrible tendency to play those guys, but he is $2,000 if you like the Dodgers.
To be fair, when I said Gorman, I was in my head thinking Outman. I was there.
They're like the same guy. That they honestly had Gorman a little bit better, but not.
All right, let's do some home run calls and some updates. People are asking for a weather update in Colorado. I don't really have any update in Colorado. Like, I'll look at the radar. It looks, I don't know, fine for now, but what it looks like now is completely irrelevant, quite frankly. I would just play it for now, and I would check back before the game is kind of how I feel about that one. Let's see. Teoscar is sitting on his bobblehead night. That is unacceptable. You have to actually be hurt for that. Let's do some home run calls. Cheese, who do you got?
Well, let's definitely go with Pete Alonso up top there.
Yeah,
BMP. How do you feel about that? Mid-tier. There you go.
So good.
Erik, are you gonna say Trent Grisham?
No, you can have that one.
Trent Grisham.
Yes.
I was trying to be nice there.
He's on the list. He's on the list.
And we'll do a cheap Rowdy Tellez.
Very good. Erik, what do you got?
We're gonna go Seiya Suzuki for like an actual guy who I think is gonna hit a home run, and then we're gonna have some fun with Bryce Matthews because Shea Wickham night went very well the last time that that we did this. Jonathan Aranda, the other one.
Okay, very good. Before you go, I want to make sure everybody hits the thumbs up for us real quick before you bounce. Just hit that thumbs up. And I want everyone to know that in 15 minutes, you just hang out here. We got a golf show coming up. And our golf team at RotoGrinders is like really, really elite. So if you haven't checked out some of their content, you most definitely should. Let's get to some QQs. Joseph says, how about the weather in Tampa? Man. I'm of the opinion it's fine. I'm assuming based on the amount of questions that weather.com thinks otherwise. To be fair, my favorite forecast model this morning was like total washout, not going to play. And now it looks like no rain. So there's question marks, but you just play it. You just play it in Tampa. Let's see. Devers and Beck, Cheese, or McMahon and Seiya?
I like those both. McMahon and Seiya.
Okay. DK Cash, Cheese, last man in. Luke's, Cam Smith, or Doyle? Cam Smith. It's Cam. It's your boy Cam.
It is Cam Smith.
Love that. Sin3 making me feel better about my home run derby failures and says they have like Sin3 runs a little league, I guess, and has parents hit on the little league field. And very few people hit home runs. So thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
This is making me feel better about our eventual basketball game that's going to get played.
I'm going to crush. Like, these are different sports. Like, I've been playing. I'll wait till after lock. We got 2 minutes. Any White Sox on FanDuel, Eric?
No.
Boyd or Yamamoto or Valdez, FanDuel. Thank you, Eric.
I actually like Boyd.
Okay. Juice says your favorite 3-man cheap Minnesota stack. Who? Cheese.
Officially, I don't like any. Yamamoto's actually a little worse against righties. I mean, he's still very good. And if you said cheap, then you can't say Buxton. I guess I would go Jeffers, Royce Lewis, and Willie Castro. But I don't, for whatever it's worth, I have 0.
Okay. Cheese, Davis Daniel in a GPP?
No.
Eric, Horner and Turner, or Vargas and Benny?
I really don't like Turner if you can find something else, but the Cubs side for me.
Okay. Abby says, is Rousman playable on FanDuel?
I don't know
playing any? Rasmussen, whatever.
Rasmussen.
Yeah. Are you playing any of him? I'm not.
I think he is not playable.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. Let's see. Boyd or Montas, Cheese, DK Largefield?
Boyd, if you don't need the salary. I mean, definitely Boyd, like if the salary doesn't matter.
Okay. Cheese, Johnny Utah, DK single entry. I'm stacking the Cardinals, a 3-man of Smith, Diaz, McCormick from the Astros. Will that make me different enough? If I'm stacking the Cardinals?
No. I would say Cardinals Houston is probably the chalk.
Wow.
Maybe McCormick's not the chalk, but I would if your goal is different, then no.
He's 2,300. McCormick is. That's why.
Okay.
Yeah. But because Houston's so cheap, like that's the team that fits with St. Louis. So I think that's what everyone is going to do who stacks the Cardinals.
Yeah. Okay. We've hit the lock. I will tell my story. I will ask for a thumbs up, and then we'll bounce on out of here. Make sure you hit the thumbs up for us. It's free content. That should be reason enough. Now that it's summer, Beimfohr, we've got all the college kids back home, and I'm just the hoop games have gotten so much better, and I'm crushing these fools. Just crush. Like, I watch them play, and I'm like, oh, this dude's really, really good. And then we play one-on-one, and I just murder them every time. I'm just too elite, and I will crush TJ.
I've found that I'm nowhere, like, not even remotely as athletic as I was, right? But I can shoot it better now. I am the epitome of the old man at the YMCA. I can't jump anymore and all that kind of stuff. But like, I'm just like so much stronger than the kids.
Yes,
so
just
like,
bodying them.
Fair. Yeah,
baby hooks and pump fakes and shoulders. Just you can't stop it.
Yep.
I still got it. We're gonna end it on that note. For Cheese and for Beimfohr, for our wonderful production crew, always working hard behind the scenes, guys. We appreciate you. We love you, and we will catch you tomorrow. You have